Hello, 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 hello. Just testing to see if the stream started. I can't use copyrighted music or they gonna be farting on my channel. Oh God. Are we up? Are we up? Are we up? Oh yeah, we up now. We are up. We gonna get straight into it, y'all. What's going on, everybody? We back on the wind down. I know I've been gone for a minute, but excuse me. We gonna get straight to it, man. Let's get to that. Dan fucking Schneider. Dan Schneider. Now, if you don't know, now you about to know. Let's get to that.
Is it a coincidence that 3 convicted pedophiles were working at the largest children's television network during the peak of its success and popularity? What if I told you that there was also a convicted pedophile managing the children who were often cast on the network's shows? What if I told you that many of the underage girls were forced to kiss men over the age of 18 on camera? And then what if you found out that multiple of these young victims grew up and were caught performing inappropriate sexual acts with children themselves, repeating the cycle of abuse? These are not rumors, these are facts. When you combine these facts with the realization that many of the jokes, physical comedy, outfits, and even random pieces of the set were sexual innuendos, at some point you'd start to eliminate the possibility of this being a coincidence and start thinking this was all by design. Today I'm going to break down exactly how a powerful network of executives separated child actors from their families, have their actors depend on them for emotional support, then abuse their power to overwork these children, rake in billions in profits, silence anyone who dared to speak out, and then bragged about it in front of the whole world. And just like most organized crime operations, they typically follow up to one top boss, the untouchable creator of this machine. Insert Dan Schneider, the man behind the camera, the esteemed Nickelodeon producer who created some of the most iconic children's television programs in history.
Shit.
At the end of the day, I love it when the cast gets sassy with me because I get to write all the scripts with some very talented writers, but I can put them in any horrible predicament I choose.
Oh, hell no.
Dan Schneider was a child actor himself, most notable for his role as Dennis on Head of the Class. During this time, he and his co-star Brian Robbins became great friends. The pair were later asked to co-host the second annual Kids' Choice Awards by a Nickelodeon producer called Albie Hecht. The 3 men struck a friendship and frequently discussed creating a project together. By 1993, Hecht had become a high-level executive at Nickelodeon and challenged Robbins to pitch him a children's television series that their new production studio could pitch to Nickelodeon. At the time, Nickelodeon was not yet the powerhouse it would become. The network struggled to become profitable in the 80s as they were losing millions of dollars per year. One year, they were actually the lowest viewed network out of all US cable channels. Early 90s cartoons like Doug, Rugrats, and Ren and Stimpy were allowing the network to pick up higher viewership, but their live-action shows struggled. So Brian recruited Dan and they came up with a sketch comedy show like Saturday Night Live, but for children, called All That. Dan wrote in his personal blog,
Now I remember watching reruns of all that, but I was born in 2001. But that's, they was still airing all that even in the 2000s or early 2000s from what I remember.
We did a nationwide talent search and got very lucky. Every kid we ended up hiring for the original All That cast turned out to be fantastic. Josh Server, Kenan Thompson, Kel Mitchell, Katrina Johnson, Lori Beth Denberg, Angelique Bates, and Alyssa Reyes. Dan recalled that the show didn't test well and that the network felt like kids wouldn't like a sketch comedy show, but they took a chance on him and the show immediately became a huge success for Nickelodeon as soon as it aired. All That would go on to have 10 seasons and become one of the most culturally significant teen Nickelodeon shows of all time.
Yeah, see, like I said, I was born in 01. But I remember seeing the older episodes and then all the way up to, 2005 when it stopped airing. But even that, they had, Nick at Night and all that shit. But I'm going to stop pausing.
Imagine how proud the executives were of Dan's performance. They were finally getting the big break they needed, and Nickelodeon was coming closer to becoming a profitable network. The only thing that could ruin their momentum would be some sort of scandal or reports of child abuse, and that's exactly what happened according to Angelique Bates, who was only 12 years old when the abuse began. But first, a quick word from today's sponsor. Underdog Fantasy. Underdog is the easiest way to play fantasy sports, not just basketball.
I was only 12 years old, and that's when my nightmare began. I was physically, mentally, emotionally abused in front of the producers and cast members, and sometimes they could even hear me yelling. But nothing was done to help me until approximately 1996 when CPS was called. And when CPS came, I was pressured by all the adults that were set to protect me to stay silent. I did, and I have. But I can no longer stay silent, and I won't. My name is Angelique Bates, and I am an adult survivor of child abuse, and this is my story.
Angelique is the first.
And what's crazy is, right, and I don't know, but just from what I've seen with my other favorite channel growing up, Cartoon Network, you don't really hear nothing about them touching on kids or this, and that. But every once in a while, you hear something from Nickelodeon, or somebody's coming out about this, somebody's coming about that. Let's get to that.
First known survivor who has spoken up against Nickelodeon's corrupt practices, and her story is extremely important because it also highlights the parents' involvement in such abuse. Angelique recalls Nickelodeon producers being upset that her mom was constantly supervising her.
They started having a bullseye for her, was that she was one of the parents that was not going to leave me unattended on set because by law, parents are supposed to be there.
Right.
So they didn't like that fact that she wouldn't leave.
Some parents would leave their kids unsupervised while they work. They trusted the producers and did not want to interfere with their child's opportunity to build a career for themselves. Angelique's mother was not like that, and she even recalled a time where someone made a sexual advance towards her and her mother threatened to sue the network. Unfortunately, Angelique's mother was also physically and emotionally abusive towards her, so she wasn't safe on set or at home.
The double-edged sword with my mom. My mom's beating my ass, but then she's like protecting me from Nickelodeon all at the same time. Like, she blocked all that. Like I said, the reason why they started hating her was because she was blocking me from that and because she was turning down sexual advances from it.
Angelique slowly received less and less work due to her mother's involvement and believed she was blackballed by Nickelodeon because she and her mother could not be controlled. And because no wrongdoings were ever officially reported, all that ratings continued to soar. The series propelled the careers of cast members Kenan Thompson and Kel Mitchell, who starred in the first All That spin-off, Kenan and Kel. The show originally aired on Nickelodeon for 4 seasons from 1996 to 2001, and was equally as successful as All That, winning the Favorite TV Show award at the 1998 Kids' Choice Awards. They also starred in the Nickelodeon cult classic film, Good Burger. However, with Schneider in charge, not much changed behind the scenes. Taisha Hampton, ex-wife of Kel Mitchell, spoke out on suspicious behavior she experienced on Nickelodeon sets. Taisha was married to Mitchell from 1999 to 2005, but they originally met on the set of Good Burger where she was casted as an extra. She too backs up the claims that parents were not around.
And these parents, like Kel's parents, were not with him. All these parents of the kids on the show, their parents were not with him.
Separate the children from the parents. That seems...
What the fuck? And see, you know, we always like to point the finger at this, and that, right? But where was the parents, right? That's one of the main questions I used to have was, where was the parents? But these producers, these higher-ups are smart at what they do. Like, yeah, we don't want our actors and actresses to be distracted, so we're going to leave the parents off the set and everything. That's crazy.
Seems to be a theme with Nickelodeon. There are 2 main reasons why they likely did this. Firstly, it seems like Nickelodeon was trying to take advantage of loose child labor laws in Florida, where the shows were filmed. According to the 1998 Florida Child Labor Code, minors aged 15 and under could work 40 hours per week as long as it was during a holiday or summer vacation. 16 and 17-year-olds who graduated from high school or had their GED did not have to abide by any work hour restrictions. A school superintendent could also issue a waiver of hours, and there is no law that specifically states a parent must supervise their kid while their child is working. However, regardless of what the code says, child labor experts say the laws were rarely enforced or penalized when there was a violation. In 1992, Jeffrey Newman of the National Child Labor Committee said that child labor today is at a point where violations are greater than at any point during the 1930s. One report found that the average business could expect to be inspected once every 50 years or so. Inspectors spend only about 5% of their time looking into child child labor problems. Businesses across the entire nation were taking advantage of loose child labor laws in the 90s. Do you think Nickelodeon was any different? Children are more susceptible to exploitation and abuse in the workplace due to their vulnerability and lack of bargaining power. Think of how easy it would be for a TV producer to torment and gaslight a young actor if they weren't getting their lines right or performing to the producer's standards. But if their parents...
Because all they're thinking is, hey, I'm trying to, get into the spotlight. I'm trying to take advantage of my chance, of my opportunity. So when a parent pushes them out there, they probably like, well, you kind of got to, and I'm trying to get me some money, but we'll get to that.
Parents were there on set witnessing their child get scolded, they might cause a fuss. Producers want as little friction as possible, so it's not crazy to think that they probably cast talent with parents who stay out of their way. But once they do get the parents out of the way, what do they do with the kids?
Right.
Because we would get into clubs, and we were young, like 16, 17 years old, and we'd be in clubs. And the people on the set in Florida made us fake IDs. And so then I started thinking, I was like, wait, what? And then they were talking about orgies, and they were talking about, like, they would people on the set would show pornos, and they'd give us alcohol.
Those were kids, like young kids on that set.
Yeah, these are grown 30-year-old men and women.
Showing this to the kids.
16, 17, 15, 14-year-old kids. But another one of the cast members was like cleaning Dan Schneider's car with a bikini on.
Huh?
And now this time she had been 15, 16 years old. There were other times they would have like parties where the parents wouldn't be there, and they'd give us alcohol. And another one of the people on the cast was giving blowjobs to the producers.
Wow, one of the kids.
And they were.
You got these kids in bikinis washing your cars, giving them fake IDs to get in the club, and where there's adults where they drinking alcohol, and then they giving blowjobs? Not in the contract, and they're underage.
They were kids.
Tracy Brown, whose son Brian Hearn was cast on All That for season 7 and 8, tells a similar story from a mother's perspective.
Because there were many times on that set where they're like, hey, we want to invite Brian to a party. And I'm like, hey, just Brian? And they go, yes. And I'm like, no. And they don't like moms that take control of their child. But I had heard things. So guess what? You don't need to like me.
Right.
And they were like, well, bye-bye. And I was like, let's go. I was not going to do anything for the money. Like, y'all need to understand, I'm that woman. I'm not going to do anything that might compromise my son, not even for the income.
But many even suspect that the producer's perversion may have been scripted into the shows, starting with Kyra on Kenan and Kel, who was just 12 years old but was always trying to flirt and make sexual advances on the much older Kel. She would refer to him as her boyfriend despite him being obviously uninterested because she is a child. At the same time that Kenan and Kel were huge stars, one All That cast member emerged and became the most iconic Nickelodeon star of all time. At just 10 years old, Amanda stood out amongst her peers and showcased her comedic talents through various characters and sketches. As a preteen, she was maturely confident and comfortable on screen. According to Leon Frierson, who was cast on All That since season 1, Schneider showed clear favoritism for BYNES. We had to go to school on set. There would be times when Amanda would just be missing, he recalled in the docuseries. A lot of times we would hear she would be with Dan, pitching ideas and writing. We see them grow closer to each other on set. He continued, Amanda Bynes' parents were very hands-on in her career, specifically her dad. His presence was always felt. A big part of that was his relationship with Dan Schneider. Like we said before, hands-on parents were not wanted on Nickelodeon's set. That is, unless they are bending to the interests of Dan Schneider. Despite the favoritism, Dan never planned on giving Amanda her own show because he claims he never wanted to be on children's television. He initially created and helped produce a series called Guys Like Us for the United Paramount Network at their primetime 8 p.m. slot. Guys Like Us revolves around two young men, Sean Barker and Jared Harris. The pair are forced to look after Jared's 6-year-old brother Maestro, who comes to live with them after Jared's father accepts a job opportunity overseas.
Why don't you go wash your hands?
They're clean.
Well, then go wash your feet.
Dan's sitcom designed for adults was an utter failure as he was not funny nor creative enough to keep adults entertained. It was canceled after one season due to abysmal ratings, so he shifted his focus to creating a show around Amanda. The Amanda Show was a sketch comedy television program that had a very similar look, feel, and comedic style as All That and Kenan and Kel. Schneider struck gold again. The Amanda Show became the highest rated live-action television program on Nickelodeon during its run. Amanda portrayed various characters that would become iconic, such as Judge Trudy,
Court dismissed! Bring in the dancing lobsters!
Crazy Courtney, and Amanda's obsessive fan, Penelope Taint.
My name is Penelope Taint. I'm Amanda's #1 fan, please.
And it took us 20 years to realize that her last name was a sexual innuendo. People also think that her catchphrase, Amanda Please, was built off the phrase, a man to please, which would be such a deep, detailed level of innuendo that it's kind of hard to believe. However, as this video goes on, it just seems more and more possible. People today also believe that her sketch called Amanda's Jacuzzi may have been inappropriate since the whole concept was her as a 13-year-old interviewing mostly grown men.
That shit is terrible. Ooh, she like 12, 14. It don't matter how she was underage in the hot tub with grown men on camera doing multiple takes with no parents around. Sick! It is a sickness!
In a hot tub. And of course, another foot joke.
Is it also true that you can put both of your feet inside your mouth at the same time?
I don't know. No.
Even Dan decided to jump in the jacuzzi with Amanda.
Hi, welcome to my jacuzzi. Today my special guest is the executive
This nigga in the tub with her don't make it no better. It is a sickness. It's sick.
producer of the Amanda Show, Dan Schneider.
Hi.
Now you're the executive producer of the show.
Yes, I'm the executive producer and the head writer.
People believe Dan was almost bragging by creating lightly sexual conduct into his kids' shows, like the Spitballer 5000, which was a phallic object that the kids had to blow into to launch a giant spitball at someone. Behind-the-scenes footage indicates that Dan and Amanda were very close, which is why it was shocking that the Amanda Show abruptly ended in 2002, just 3 years after it aired on Nickelodeon. In an interview with The Times, BYNES explained that she decided to leave for other opportunities. I was having fun, but at 15, you don't want to be doing what you did when you were 12. Right. Schneider also commented on her exit with, I've seen kids in her position experiment with drugs and be too promiscuous, but Amanda has avoided all of that. My wife, who knows her, says she's almost like Marsha Brady in that she's so clean-cut and wholesome. This quote seems characteristically odd from Dan, like she was just talking about transitioning to more mature roles like her sitcom What I Like About You, and he had to bring up drugs and sex for some reason. Many years later, cast members would come out and speak about how they perceived Amanda behind the scenes. Actress Chelsea Roman, who co-starred on All That, recalled, she was closed off to everyone. You'd ask her a question and she'd give you a quick answer to end the conversation. She was always defiant with her dad, but she tried to hide things from her dad. She always seemed like she was trying to hide things. They would butt heads. This recountment does line up with the timeline of 2003 where Amanda sought to be emancipated from her parents at just 17 years old. In June of 2003, Amanda's agent, manager, and lawyer were all abruptly fired by her parents. The young star, now 17, was seeking legal emancipation from her parents, who were furious when they discovered that the reps had concealed this fact from them. Unfortunately, Amanda was not able to successfully get emancipated. During this rough patch in her life, BYNES reportedly leaned on Schneider and his wife, Lisa Lillian, for support. She was spending a lot of time with us, said Lillian, but she never left her family's house. This direct quote from Dan's wife is strong evidence.
So some weird shit started going on when she left the show, and it stopped abruptly. People started getting fired. What's going on?
That Dan and Amanda were close off set. Amanda has spoken out very strongly against her father and maybe at the time looked at Schneider as a replacement father figure. Dan also recently recounted a night where Amanda ran away from home.
One night, it was very late, well after midnight, 1 or 2 in the morning, phone rang.
This nigga's sick. I don't care what nobody says. This nigga right here is sick, bro. Look at him. Fake ass. Oh my god, bro.
I answered, it was Amanda. She was upset, she was in distress, she had had some conflict with her parents, I think her father, and she called me. I was immediately concerned about her safety. I called someone who I knew was fairly nearby. That person was able to go and pick her up. Then I knew she was safe. I felt better. She ended up being taken to the police.
As much as people blame Dan for the downfall of Amanda's career, or claim that he had suspicious involvement that's deeper and more inappropriate, throughout Amanda's whole life and numerous public spirals, she never blamed or accused Dan Schneider of anything. All of her anger and horrible accusations were towards her biological father. However, the cloud of mystery and potentially inappropriate behavior surrounding Amanda, as well as her obviously broken family life, seemed to be a common gray area Dan found himself in with his stars. Over the years, some of the most prominent stars like Jamie Lynn Spears, Jeanette McCurdy, and Ariana Grande all had absent fathers. On one hand, you can blame the parents. On another, you could look at Dan as a predatory opportunist. Or maybe it's a little bit of both. But there was a real convicted predator who worked underneath Dan Schneider. Jason Handy, a production assistant who worked on All That and The Amanda Show, exchanged email addresses and phone numbers with parents and kids who thought he was a friendly and helpful presence on set.
Ain't this one of the dudes that got rehired like 2-3 times after getting caught?
Thought, oh, I could be friends with this person, said MJ, the mother of a former actress on The Amanda Show, who was identified as Brandy. The mother was mortified when she saw her 11-year-old daughter looking at a graphic email from Handy.
It was a picture of him naked, masturbating. And he said he had sent it to her because he wanted her to see that he was thinking of her.
Why the fuck am I not surprised?
When you wash your body, do you use a moldy loofah, a dirty washcloth, or that guy that just uses their hands while only scrubbing your pits and privates? Mm-hmm.
Why am I not surprised, bro?
After that email. Handy was arrested in April of 2003 after law enforcement received a tip about him. When the police investigated his home, they found over 1,700 images of young girls in erotic poses, as well as 7 videos on CD files of children.
1,000 videos and pictures on CDs? What the fuck? What? What is wrong with you?
Engaged in sexually explicit conduct. In Handy's personal diary, he wrote sentences like, "I am a pedophile full-blown." He added, "I have really been giving into my desire for little girls these past few weeks." And then he detailed his day-to-day struggle on how he could find a victim that he could sexually assault.
There's evidence right there! I bet you he's walking free. I bet you he's a walking free man. He better not be no free walking man, bro.
In 2004, Handy was sentenced to 6 years in prison after being convicted on 2 felonies.
6 years! With thousands of pictures and photos of little girls and himself. Lewd acts on a child and one of disturbing sexual explicit material by email, and to a misdemeanor charge related to child sexual exploitation, and the parents knew. It is a sickness.
Felony counts, one of lewd acts on a child and one of distributing sexually explicit material by email, as well as on a misdemeanor charge related to sexual exploitation of a child. Many of you are probably thinking 6 years is not enough. And surprise, surprise, he got out and in 2014 committed 2 other felony sex offender violations with a child. Allegedly,
so he did get caught again.
Handy's case prompted Nickelodeon to toughen its background checks for all employees, trying to prevent this from happening again. Yet somehow, this was not even close to the last time a would infiltrate Nickelodeon's network. Actor Drake Bell formed a bond with the dialogue coach Brian Peck during the 2nd season of The Amanda Show. Peck, who has no relation to Drake's co-star Josh Peck, would invite Drake to his house for acting lessons. These lessons were supervised by Drake's father, Joe, who was told that Brian Peck was a...
We inviting kids to our house? And the parents let that happen? To Drake? Sick.
Guild coach who would help Drake secure more acting opportunities. However, over time, Joe became uncomfortable with their relationship.
And unfortunately, I started seeing Brian start to just hang around Drake too much. It didn't set well with me. Drake would be in the dressing room or something, and in would pop Brian and just touch Drake. You know, do things that, wait a second, what are you doing? Drake can put that on himself.
Right.
And the thing is, this is in front of people.
Joe expressed his concern.
Wait. So you doing this in front of people? Oh, I'm trying to put this on. You trying to help him? You a grown man? And you don't even work in costume? You supposed to be a voice actor? Coach? What the
Concerns with production personnel and said he was uncomfortable with Brian, only to be called homophobic because of Brian's sexual orientation. Therefore, Joe backed off. Once this got back to Brian, he manipulated Drake into severing ties with his father/manager, suggesting that Joe was sabotaging Drake's career. Peck subsequently integrated himself into multiple areas of Bell's life and became a father figure for the young actor. Eventually, Peck convinces Drake's mother to let him stay at his house during auditions.
Now you spending the night at grown man's house? That goes back to the question from earlier.
Manipulated Drake into severing ties with his father.
Where was the parents?
/manager, suggesting that Joe was sabotaging Drake's career. Peck subsequently integrated himself into multiple areas of Bell's life and became a father figure for the young actor. Eventually, Peck convinces Drake's mother.
Like I said, where's the parents? We can point fingers at these pedophiles and monsters all day, right? We get that part. But where the fuck was the parents at? That didn't step in, that didn't say, hey, I don't think this is okay for my child. I don't care how much money is involved. I'm going to pull them out of this. To still let them stay in another grown man's house for auditions, for voice acting. I mean, voice coaching, whatever you want to call it. It's manipulation at the end of the day.
To let him stay at his house during auditions. These figures entice the children with fame and fortune, convince them that their parents are trying to hold them back, then totally isolate them and do who knows what behind closed doors. It's likely that all the kids who made it out unscathed were because of parents who stepped in and removed their child from the situation before it was too late. However, the more popular the actor was, such as Drake Bell, the more difficult it became to remove them from the industry. Sadly, with Brian Peck and Drake Bell, we do know what happened behind closed doors. When Drake slept on Brian's couch, the sexual assault began.
I was sleeping on the couch where I would usually sleep, and I woke up to him. I just opened my eyes. I woke up, and he was sexually assaulting me. Why don't you think of the worst stuff that someone can do to somebody as a sexual assault, and that'll answer your question.
Drake wouldn't tell anyone for several months. The abuse persisted until Drake began spending more time at a girlfriend's house. One day, when he was supposed to meet with Brian, Drake said he did not want to hang out. Brian then started calling his phone nonstop. When Drake failed to answer, Brian obsessively started calling his girlfriend's house, which is when the girlfriend's mother suspected something was wrong and took Drake to her family therapist. He later detailed the abuse to his own mother, who called the police. I had to be excruciatingly detailed about every single thing and time that it had happened with two absolute strangers. The worst part was I had to make a phone call to Brian and get him to admit to what he'd done.
It happened multiple times with different strangers. Poor Drake Bell, man!
The police monitored a wired phone call with Brian, who broke into a full-on confession that led to his arrest. The investigation was conducted privately, and Bell remained unidentified to the public for several years due to his age at that time. Drake did tell Dan Schneider about this situation right before the trial.
And when Drake and I talked and he told me what had happened, I was more devastated by that than anything that ever happened to me in my career thus far. And I told him, I'm here for you. What do you need? But Drake's mom, a lovely woman who I stay in contact with this day, she came to me at the time and she said, Dan, I'm not good with words like you are. And would you help me with my speech for the judge?
You crying? You crying? You crying? Come on.
I said, of course. And I did.
During Brian Peck's trial, numerous prominent figures in the entertainment industry wrote letters of support vouching for his character, including James Marsden, Taran Killam, Growing Pains star Alan Thicke, Boy Meets World actors Will Friedle and Ryder Strong, among others. Some of these figures, including Friedle and Strong, have since expressed their regret over writing the letters and stated that they were manipulated by Peck's misinformation. Brian Peck was convicted of child molestation in 2004, pleading no contest to a charge of oral copulation with a minor under 16 and a charge of performing a lewd act with a 14 or 15-year-old. He spent only 16 months in prison and was mandated to register as a sex offender. And if you are surprised at that abysmally low sentencing, Peck got out and secured a job working for Disney's The Suite Life of Zack and...
Damn, he went to Disney and did the dirty again? And they still hired him? It's a sickness! Shout out Abba and Preach. It's a sickness!
Cody in 2006, where he voiced London Tipton's talking mirror for 3 episodes. The Disney Channel hired a registered sex offender. Despite these horrible circumstances, Drake remained in the industry and would go on to star alongside Josh Peck in their legendary buddy comedy, Drake and Josh, which again caused the network's ratings to explode to new heights. The series premiere was watched by 3.2 million viewers, the network's highest rated series premiere in nearly 10 years. Drake and Josh episodes regularly saw viewership upwards of 5, 6, 7 million. As of 2006, the show ranked consistently among the 10 most watched cable shows across all of television, and you could just add Zoe 101 to the list of Dan's dominant programs, which saw an average of 3 million viewers per episode. It was on the set of Zoe 101 where even more photos emerged of Dan getting a little too comfortable with the cast, particularly Aaron Sanders, who was merely a child being held and coddled on Dan's lap. You can also see this photo where Dan's hand is resting on the child's lower back. Zoe 101 also had 34 different kissing scenes across its 4 seasons. While this may not seem that strange for a teen drama show, it did often lead to underage female actresses kissing over 18-year-old males. Brando Eaton was 20 years old and Victoria Justice was 14.
What?
Justice was 14.
He's 20-something years old and she 14 at the time? And y'all hired him and knew how old he was? And I ain't even mad.
Victoria at this time also had to kiss Jaron Vosberg, who was 18. And get this, 12-year-old Jamie Lynn Spears had to kiss 22-year-old Justin Timberlake on the set of All That. And Justin dated Britney Spears, which is Jamie's sister, 3 years earlier. Also, this Zoe 101 scene resurfaced recently, and many believe it to be a sexual innuendo. Spears' co-star, Alexa Nicolas, recalled Dan making a crew member squirt the syringe of goo at Spears over and over again. It's also important to remember that all of the information that you now know from this video was totally unknown by the public at the time. All the allegations and predatory behavior was all silenced before they could ever reach headlines. Barely any media outlets were reporting on why pedophiles were allowed to work on set. Survivors were scared to speak their truth, and even if they wanted to, they would have to go through a publicist or rely on a potentially corrupt media outlet to tell their story the right way. All anyone saw was the final product on television, so we assumed everything was consensual and safe and approved by people who had the best interests of the children in mind. Even if the network was suspicious of Dan and his production staff, which they weren't, they were going to do anything and everything to protect his reputation because Nickelodeon was red hot. At this point, they had been the #1 network in viewers aged 2 to 11 for over a decade. They were raking in millions of viewers and billions of dollars. Dan had more power than ever and was about to unleash all of his sick fantasies through iCarly. The basic premise of iCarly was that Carly Shay, Drake and Josh co-star Miranda Cosgrove, and her friends Sam and Freddie, played by Brian McCurdy and Nathan Kress, produce a web show from Carly's older brother's apartment. The show resonated with the real-world rise of online content creation and the growing influence of social media platforms like YouTube during the 2000s. The show within a show encouraged fan interaction by incorporating segments that invited viewers to participate in the show's interactive elements. Additionally, the characters often responded to fan mail and viewer submissions on their web show, further blurring the lines between fiction and reality. Like, take a look at this time they called a 12-year-old fan.
Do you have any questions for Sydney?
I follow your Twitters.
How old are you?
I'm 12.
No way, I just turned 16.
You're 12?
Yes.
I'm like a little over double that.
Yeah, Jerry's all old. So what do you like about iCarly?
I love it. It's really funny.
Anything else you want to know about iCarly or any questions or anything?
No.
No? You're all set?
No.
Thank you.
Do you know what I know? Would you like us to get on a plane and come to your house?
Yes.
Oh, well, that's not going to happen.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Dan himself often communicated directly with fans on his blog, danwarp.blogspot.com, where he gave behind-the-scenes information and did Q&As. He also started giving tons of behind-the-scenes clips to his Dan Warp YouTube channel, giving us insight on the cast's uncomfortability around him.
What? It wouldn't be a video from iCarly if I didn't do this to you. I don't know. Oh, yeah. What are you doing?
I don't know.
What's going on? What are you wearing today? Who did your outfit?
I did
Who's
my
your...
outfit.
I've had too much caffeine.
Don't do anything with this footage. Please, it's so lame.
Did you know that the average adult American male has 18 hairs on each of his toes?
This is what happens when it gets late.
Yeah, seriously. Let us go home, Dan.
We would be home if you had gotten some of your lines right earlier in the day, right? Am I right? Yeah. Oh, yeah. Who's embarrassed now? Who's embarrassed? No. What are you doing?
I'm scared.
Jeanette. Susie.
He recorded all this.
Yeah, if you could fill a pool with... Get out of
He
here.
recorded everything.
Wants to know if you could fill a pool with anything you like and swim in it, what would it be and why?
Confetti, because it's a celebration in the pool.
Poor Jeanette McCurdy, by the way, man. She came out. She was one of the ones that came out and said everything and kind of ignited it all. But, you know, it was still speculation at the time. But we here now.
Okay, that makes no sense.
Okay.
Miranda,
Pineapple juice.
what? I didn't ask the question.
Oh, sorry. Well, I heard. I was thinking this whole time.
Okay, the question is, if you wanted me to hit you with a bottle of something, what would it be? Pineapple juice? Okay, here comes. This is why I'm in Hollywood.
Yeah, get your cereal, kids.
Did she say nice things?
Sick!
Because I will tase her if necessary.
Uh-oh.
I have the taser. We haven't had to use it in a long time. But
I said lots of nice things.
No, I said nice things about you too.
Oh.
That's gonna get on TV. That's gonna get on TV.
In these clips, you can get a glimpse of Dan's unpredictability. I mean, just look at how Miranda steps away from Dan as he proceeds to make his way around her back, and then hugs her from behind as she stands awkwardly still. As you can see, while Dan is shoving a camera in these actors' faces, they're often confused. Is he joking? Is he angry? Is he creepy? Is he going to touch them or grab them? They look extremely uncertain around him as he talks to them like a classic jester. But iCarly was a massive success for the network throughout its 6 seasons from 2007 to 2012. The pilot episode debuted on Nickelodeon to an audience of 4.1 million,
It was one of
followed
my
by the second episode on the same
favorites.
day with 3.9 million viewers. The show was nominated for an Emmy Award for Outstanding
One of my
Children's Program 5
favorites.
times, and averaged 4.6 million viewers throughout its time on Nickelodeon. Somehow, Dan managed to outdo Drake and Josh. But looking back on the show, many of the jokes and innuendos were more blatant than we remember.
Right.
How long?
3.2 seconds.
Yeah! That's the longest it's ever taken you to beat me.
Or how about the sack, which was Dan making fun of the Snuggie.
You're just sitting on your couch, trying to polish your bowling ball, but your blanket keeps flying off your body.
Oh, my blanket keeps flying off my body.
Like, are we reading into it too much, or is polishing your ball while advertising the sack not strategic? They mentioned that the sack comes in 4 different colors.
The sack comes in rash red, mucus green, pus yellow, or blue.
His shows are always displaying close-ups of feet and putting cast members in predicaments where they have to touch each other's feet. Nobody thinks feet are this funny. To be such a recurring bit in a television show. Many have pointed out that the Nickelodeon logo at one point was a foot.
The logo was a foot, but not Cartoon Network.
Suggesting that Dan's influence was so strong he got them to change their logo momentarily to his fetish. I even found something on his blog that was particularly interesting. He had a segment called Fun Facts on his blog where he would go through an iCarly script and talk about tiny little details and why they matter. Like this one where he refers to Sam's necklace and how it's made of the same plastic that the antique radios that he collects are made out of. I mention this because it proves that there are no coincidences with what you see on screen. No matter how small or insignificant it may seem, Dan put it there on purpose. In this same episode, which is called I Date a Bad Boy, music. Dan says, scenes begin with Carly and Sam cutting a boy's hair. We see the first of 2 penny teas in this 1-hour episode. This one on Sam says, noodle booty. What does noodle booty mean? Why did Dan specifically point out her shirt and want us to know what it says? In another blog post, he specifically points out one of his intentionally inappropriate jokes. One where he wrote a joke where an adult woman sexualizes 17-year-old Nathan Kress. Dan writes, on the first few takes when Jane said her line, hey, those pants fit you real good, she was looking at the front of his pants. I had the director step in quietly and tell her that, because this is for Nickelodeon, we'd prefer she look at the back of his pants on that line. Winky face. I guess Dan thinks that complimenting a young boy's butt is somehow more appropriate. Additionally, take a look at this 2010 blog post where he discusses adults who watch iCarly. He writes, there are around 150 people who work on iCarly, and none of us approach it like we're making a kids show. We make iCarly no differently than if we were writing and producing a primetime half-hour comedy for NBC, CBS, or any one of the major broadcast networks. This statement directly contradicts what he said while addressing the Quiet on Set documentary.
Some people think that some of those jokes are inappropriate for children. What do you think of that?
Every one of those jokes was written for a kid audience because kids thought they were funny and only funny.
So Dan, are the jokes for adults, like you said 10 years ago on your blog, or are they for kids, like you just said recently when the pressure is at an all-time high? It was also during iCarly when 47-year-old Martin Weiss, who managed dozens of child actors, was formally charged with sexually abusing a former client. The victim told police sex with Weiss 30 to 40 times about 6 years ago, and the abuse ended when he...
The victim told police that he had sex with that man for 30, 40 times 6 years ago, and it ended when he turned 15. What the fuck? What the parents said, bro.
He turned 15 years old, but Weiss denied that it was rape because the 15-year-old boy showed interest. But the boy said that Martin convinced him that this was common in the industry and denying him would ruin his career. Yet again, a pedophile...
There's nothing common about that. That's sick.
...infiltrated Nickelodeon, and nothing changed. Still, Dan was absolutely dominating. He likely had unimaginable power at the network. Whatever he said goes, but he may have gotten a little too comfortable, maybe even cocky, because his next 2 shows, Victorious and Sam and Cat, would start to get...
Victorious and Sam and Cat. This is when I started to walk away from Nickelodeon. I mean, I was still fucking with Cartoon Network heavy, but I was starting to realize, yeah, man, this ain't it.
Him in a lot of trouble. Schneider was challenged with writing a competitor to Disney Channel's Hannah Montana. Zoe 101 had recently ended, and Dan knew that featured actress Victoria Justice had star power. If there is anything I've learned about kids today, and I'm not saying this is good or bad, it's that they all want to be stars. This direct quote from Dan potentially backs up accusations that he uses these teenagers' desires for stardom to manipulate them. Ironically, the plot of Victorious is about a girl who attends a performing arts school and aspires to be a famous singer. In 2010, iCarly and Victorious were the top 2 live-action shows on Nickelodeon, helping Nick maintain its 16-year status as the #1 network on all of cable. Victorious aired from 2010 to 2015 through 4 seasons, winning favorite TV show of the 2012 Kids Choice Awards, beating out iCarly, as well as receiving 4
You was a sick motherfucker. You done touched on these kids. You done allowed your friends, your workers, to touch on these kids for decades. You sick motherfucker.
Nominations. To the surprise of no one, Dan created another iconic children's TV show, but at what cost? Before the show premiered, Nickelodeon Productions partnered with the Columbia Epic label group of Sony Music Entertainment to co-produce the series to develop their music. Ariana Grande famously video by the way. Victorious. She was the perfect addition to the show due to her amazing singing capabilities, but her role on the show was the airheaded girl who says literally anything that is on her mind. Perfect for Dan to take advantage of and more innuendos.
Sometimes I wonder if you can get juice from a potato. Is it possible?
That's not cool. That's not cool.
for a teenage girl to drink water upside down? I'm thirsty. It's not possible.
It's sick.
This clip of Dan and the Victorious cast behind the scenes has been dissected many times over the years, where Ariana and Elizabeth Gillis seem visibly uncomfortable due to Dan's presence.
That was one of the better things I've ever heard.
Hey.
Hi, what's going on here?
Nothing. You didn't cut out that part.
Why are you sitting on the floor of the set?
Ariana is constantly looking around, covering up her body as Dan towered over her. Many in the comments speculate that Liz started causing distractions so that Dan wouldn't do whatever they seem.
Liz seems so pissed after Dan appears with the camera around, seems so uncomfortable. Yeah, oh my God. Yeah. She had
to be afraid of. However, Liz Gillis actually ended up marrying a Nickelodeon producer that she met on the set of Victorious. Michael Corcoran is a very close friend to Dan Schneider. He wrote the theme songs for iCarly and Victorious. Liz and Michael began dating in 2012 when she was 18 and he...
I didn't know! You dated one of Dan Schneider's niggas? And you wasn't even of age. That means he was hitting on you when you was 16, 17 on the set of Victorious. Damn.
He was 40. They did meet on
40 years
old.
old.
18, which leads many to believe that she was groomed, but they are still together to this day. According to Jeanette McCurdy, Schneider regularly compared the iCarly cast to that of Victorious. Victorious kids get drunk together all the time. The iCarly kids are so wholesome. We need to give you guys a little edge, Schneider said.
The Victorious kids would get drunk together all the time. The R. Kelly. Fuck R. Kelly. The iCarly kids are so wholesome. We need to give you guys a little edge. Motherfucker, edge? Where the parents at? First, it was we letting them go to clubs, we giving them fake IDs, they drinking alcohol with adults. Now it's they dating 40-year-olds when they was 18. That means they was getting eyeballed to when predators was writing letters to fucking serial killers. Now kids giving blowjobs. Like, what type of shit is going on, man? It is a sickness!
Said, according to McCurdy. Now, supplying minors with alcohol is a major accusation. There is definitely a lot of online evidence showing that the Victorious cast were very close, often mingling and hanging out after hours, but whether or not they are drunk is impossible to determine. However, the actor who portrayed Beck on Victorious may have confirmed McCurdy's statements on a TikTok that read, "When you don't remember the plotline to a single Victorious episode, but you remember going out partying every night." Daniela Monet, who played the lead's older sister, Trina Vega, told Insider that some of the actors' outfits on the show were not a single Victorious episode, but you remember going out partying every night. Daniela Monet.
So does that link to like trauma? Because they were still kids, basically, underage. Like, and they having to stay on set for about 12 hours, 15 hours. Remember, the child labor laws in Florida is different. You can work them 40 hours, 50 hours a week and get away with it.
Who played the lead's older sister, Trina Vega, told Insider that some of the actors' outfits on the show were not age appropriate, and that she wouldn't even wear some of that today as an adult. Daniela also recalled a time when she contacted Nickelodeon about a Victorious scene where she ate a pickle while applying lip gloss. She expressed concern to the network that it was too sexual to air, but Nickelodeon aired it anyway. And in case you were wondering if Dan ever slowed down on his foot content, no. He actually ramped it up.
There we go.
No! God, no!
Spread your toes, girl.
No!
I still say this is not performing.
How about two girls fighting over a guy's foot while he sings a song?
Wow, they're really soft.
Nurses,
feel these kids' feet.
But it was around 2012 and 2013 that people online finally started to question what was going on at Nickelodeon. I believe it was due to Amanda Bynes' very public downward spiral. It was around this time she made headlines for her first DUI, assaulting a member of the paparazzi, being seen in public looking disheveled and distraught. Then she was evicted from her New York City apartment, and she got...
What happened? I'm sorry, y'all. I'm not trying to watch that foot shit again. Amanda gets probation and DUI plea deal. Poor Amanda. Alcohol education course, pay a fine, no contest. Reckless driving, DUI charge. Oh.
Why? Assaulting a member of the paparazzi, being seen in public looking disheveled and distraught. She was evicted from her New York City apartment, and she got some strange dimple piercings and even posted lewd photos that were not very flattering. No! In short, people were saying that she was going crazy, and naturally they started to question the children's television industry that she grew up in. An infamous blind item appeared on the Crazy Days and Nights blog of someone trying to warn the public about Dan. He's a monster, the worst predator alive, and if you wonder why nobody will confront or charge him, he's in charge of multiple hit shows for Nick, which rakes in oceans of money. What about the parents? No tweener parent who shoved their kid into the limelight from birth is going to cross him either, and risk career suicide and loss of revenue.
Right, see, everything just goes back to the money. Dan is the golden boy. Golden boy brings in the money. Golden boy is protected by the big money, by the higher powers. Golden boy gets to do all these moves and everything and get away with it. Even people around him, he gets to protect them. As long as you fall under the Nickelodeon umbrella, to the Dan Schneider umbrella, and so on and so forth, you're protected. But not these kids. Where was the parents? Parents were shut up by some money. Oh, they saw the opportunity. Now they paying for the consequences in their adulthood. Fucked over.
No matter how bad it F's up the kids. It was also around this time that a Redditor alleged that Dan offered them $100 to tickle their feet while on set of one of his shows. Now, none of these claims were backed by any real or substantial evidence, but it did get people talking. Media outlets finally began speaking out, questioning the intentions of children's TV, specifically pointing to the sexual nature of Victorious. Those designer threads often have an adult sexiness that unsuccessfully straddles the line between tasteful and trampy. While guys are allowed to be quirky and weird-looking, girls are uniformly cast from the same Bratz doll mold. Meanwhile, you had Dan posting things on his blog like, "But what Kat does in this scene is a special variation of the spit take, where the liquid just falls out of her mouth. Yes, this is what I do for a living. I analyze the various kinds of spit takes. Not a bad job." Smiley face. After this quote from Dan, we now know that this photo, which is on the official Zoe 101 IMD page, showing Victoria Justice with spit falling out of her mouth, is probably his creation. You also had people in the early 2010s analyzing his old tweets, ones where he was constantly talking about people's feet and toes. "This toe belongs to one of the stars on one of my shows. Whose toe is this?" To which he later tweeted, "The toe belongs to the sweet and hilariously talented Miss Jeanette McCurdy. Sam and Cat tomorrow. Right on the bottom of your foot, take a pic and use hashtag Sam and Cat Saturday."
If you participated in this, it is a sickness!
We will retweet and follow until our fingers get sore. I also found this extremely old Pepsi commercial Dan starred in the late 80s, which potentially features an innuendo with the lotion shot splattering on the guy's chest. Then the focus of the entire commercial being on his feet not wanting to touch the sand because it's hot. And of course, there's females in the background in their bikinis. Dan was unaware of the digital renaissance aiming to take him down, and he was as reckless as ever. iCarly was officially over, and Victorious was scheduled to end a few months later. Schneider decided to hit two birds with one stone and make a dual spin-off for both shows. He took a fan favorite from iCarly in Sam Puckett and a fan favorite from Victorious in Cat Valentine and created a teen sitcom titled Sam and Cat. The premise of the show revolved around the unlikely friendship of Sam and Cat, who meet and become roommates in Los Angeles while starting their own babysitting business to make ends meet, which is basically the same plot as his failed primetime sitcom from the 90s. The pilot debuted on Nickelodeon to 4.2 million viewers and was surprisingly popular despite being a spin-off that was clearly inferior to its original shows. However, Sam and Cat only lasted one season and was cancelled following controversy behind the scenes. Firstly, Jeanette McCurdy posted this strange Vine.
"Hey Dan Schneider, I know you're watching my Vine. Do you like my Vine? Vine. 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 Look what you've done to me."
Considering she would speak out against him 10 years later, we now know this was not our imagination. He was really making her crazy. In her 2022 memoir, I'm Glad My Mom Died, McCurdy detailed her childhood and how her mother, Deborah, forced her to become a child actor. Schneider was also mentioned in the memoir solely as the creator, who McCurdy claimed created an unsafe work environment, frequently subjecting the cast and crew to emotional abuse. When Jeanette turned 18 2014 and iCarly was coming to an end, the creator allegedly dangled the opportunity for Jeanette to have her own spinoff. She wrote that the creator took her out to dinner, where he encouraged her to try alcohol for the first time and gave her a shoulder massage. The creator...
He pressured her to drink and gave her a massage of $300,000 for hush money? Man, no.
Is doing that thing that I've heard from my co-stars he does with every new star of a show that he's making. He takes you under his wing.
You're his favorite.
Additionally, there was a feud between Ariana and Jeanette brewing behind the scenes. On Jeanette's podcast, she discussed her time on Sam and Cat, revealing that she was jealous of Ariana Grande because executives allowed her the opportunity to pursue other business ventures while restricting McCurdy's career advancement. Every time something exciting happens to her, I feel like she robbed me of having that experience myself. And every time someone calls me a good sport, all I feel is how much I don't want to be one. Ariana misses work in pursuit of her music career while I act with a box. I'm pissed about it, and I'm pissed at her, jealous of her. In case you're wondering, one episode of Sam and Cat was based around Cat getting trapped in a box, and Sam spent the whole episode trying to get her out. The writers had to come up with an episode without her because Ariana was busy with her music career and couldn't film. This show getting cancelled after one very successful season was likely due to this feud, but I'm sure Dan's behavior towards Jeanette and Ariana made it easy for them to sever ties with Nickelodeon. This basically marks the end of Dan's dominance at the network. He was recognized for his 20 years of work at Nickelodeon with their very first Lifetime Achievement Award in 2014. For the few online that were aware of the rumors surrounding Dan, this award rubbed them the wrong way. Slowly in 2014 and after, we saw more media coverage pointing out inappropriate moments in his shows. But again, the masses, the general public, had no idea what he was doing. And for a few years, people stopped talking about him online. Until 2017, when the Harvey Weinstein Me Too movement shook to the core, and Dan tried to make it out unscathed. In October of 2017, investigative reports by The New York Times and The New Yorker exposed decades of sexual harassment, assault, and misconduct allegations against film producer Harvey Weinstein. This prompted bloggers who knew about Dan's history to discuss him once again. More blind items from the Crazy Days and Nights blog emerged, like this one that suggests Dan, the producer, was sleeping with cast members. A producer who has been featured on this site from almost the very beginning. When she landed the part, the producer never mentioned anything about sleeping with her. All but one of them were underage. She suspected that because she was legal for almost the entire run of the show, that he was just not that into her. At some point, he did try and sleep with her and she turned him down. That rejection cost her a bunch of scene reductions. Meanwhile, the producer found someone else to sleep with who was also legal but loved to roleplay super young. She was getting the good lines and scenes. She was being offered crossover opportunities and new shows were being developed for her.
That sounds awfully familiar. That sounds like Victoria's, because wasn't she like fairly old enough by the time the second and third season came around? She was already 18 and boy, it is a sickness.
And again, this could just be people spreading lies, but now the pressure was on, and Nickelodeon, Dan Schneider, they could feel the heat. Websites like The Revenge of the Sis became fully dedicated to exposing the creepy nature of the Nickelodeon network. Coincidentally, as the pressure was at an all-time high, Nickelodeon cut ties with Dan Schneider in March of 2018 and paid him the $7 million still owed on his contract. They claim this separation was a natural next step and they are proud of the work he did for Nickelodeon. Deadline Hollywood reported that there had been complaints about Schneider's alleged behavior, including his well-documented temper issues for years. Following reports that Nickelodeon and Schneider parted ways, Dan's Twitter account went quiet. He only rarely made public appearances. He also tried to erase everything on his blog, but we still got that. Nickelodeon Studios even released its reboot of iCarly for the Paramount Plus streaming platform without Schneider. From Dan's exit in 2018 until today, YouTubers, bloggers, previous cast members, and media outlets greatly contributed to informing the public about Dan's ways. Perhaps the most detailed and detrimental article was the 2022 Business Insider Deep Dive, which interviewed 15 of Dan's former co-workers, some of which spoke horrible things and others defended his character. Dan cared about the kids kids on his shows even when sometimes their own families unfortunately did not. Russell Hicks, Nickelodeon's former president of content and production, wrote, "He was the shoulder they cried on when something happened to them. He understood what they were going through." Schneider drew hours away from writing scripts and instead spent time mingling with the stars on his shows, taking them out to dinner and inviting them to his house for holiday parties. It became so frequent that some of Schneider's colleagues questioned the amount of time he spent interacting with young actors. While Dan focused on being accepted by the children on his shows, several writers and crew members claimed Schneider created an uncomfortable, bizarre environment, regularly demanding 14-plus hour days and expected writers and crew members to be available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. More disturbing was Schneider's behavior towards female crew members, reportedly hugging them for extended periods as a joke, making people uncomfortable. Schneider also requested massages from adult female colleagues during his tenure at the network, according to several Nickelodeon staffers. Kerry Mellon, who worked as a costumer on Schneider's shows for 14 years, said Schneider received weekly massages from a third member of the costume team. They also claimed that Schneider would ask the women to give him a massage by reaching under his shirt. Despite claims that he fostered a hostile work environment, Schneider's shows at Nickelodeon were greenlighted because of his influence within the company. On-set employees rarely pushed back against Schneider. Another writer said, "Because you just didn't cross Dan. He was a really scary presence." However, it took all the way until the Quiet on Set documentary before Dan ever responded to any of these allegations. But during this 20-minute interview, he basically only admits to being mean to his writers.
I would snap at people sometimes. I would be snarky when I could have given them a nicer answer. I would not give people the time that they needed. I would be in too big a hurry to get on to the next thing I had to do. And watching that show, it made me, there were so many times I wanted to pick up a phone and call some of those people and say, "I'm so sorry, and let's talk about it, and I wish you'd had a better time, and I wish I could have shown you a better experience."
The rest of this conversation was him deflecting blame. He said that his inappropriate jokes were approved by the executives at Nickelodeon that were above him, and they didn't think the jokes were inappropriate at the time. But he also said that since people are upset about those jokes, then he's okay with erasing them, which makes people wonder, are they inappropriate or not? He claims he had no knowledge of any sexual assault that any of his previous cast members experienced, but he did admit to demanding massages.
Let's talk about the massages.
Okay.
Watching the content yesterday, it was disturbing.
It was wrong. It was wrong that I ever put anybody in that position. It was the wrong thing to do. I'd never do it today. I'm embarrassed that I did it then. I'm embarrassed to anybody that I ever put in that situation. And even additionally, I apologize to the people who were walking around Video Village or wherever they happened, because there were lots of people there who witnessed it who also may have felt uncomfortable. So I owe them an apology as well.
Yeah.
He 100% wholeheartedly admitted that he forced people to touch him, which is interesting because it becomes very difficult to believe that he would stop there. Perhaps the craziest part about this video is that there's still so much more that I could cover. Some people's entire YouTube channels are dedicated to bringing Dan's dark secrets to light. But I do want to leave off with this message. Just remember that it's easy to think that this is all just entertainment because, well, these allegations feature some of our favorite child stars. Remember that they were real victims that had to suffer. People have gotten so wrapped up and excited about this expose that they're now blaming innocent people for being complicit in these alleged crimes. For example, Zoe 101 star Matthew Underwood was getting death threats for not speaking out against Dan Schneider. So to prove to these people that he is innocent, he voiced 2 different times where he was sexually assaulted as a minor. So now, after hearing many of the allegations, the rumors, the testimonies, the convictions, the confessions surrounding Dan Schneider's time on Nickelodeon, is it all just a coincidence, a conspiracy, or a calculated crime conglomerate?
Man, y'all let me know down below what y'all think, man. I'm sure y'all done seen plenty of the documentations and all that, but that is just one of those sicknesses that's not cool, that's not it. Damn, we still got people in the chat. That's crazy. I'm gonna get into another video, but damn, fucking Dan Schneider, you dirty Dan. You dirty Dan motherfucker. Shout out to SpongeBob though. Shout out to Cartoon Network. Cartoon Network ain't really had no type of issues like this on their side, man. You know, I've been rocking for them for a long time. But hey, it is what it is, though. We're gonna get into another video here in a second. Yeah.
Real quick, just want to prepare y'all. Next video, we're changing it up a little bit. But right now, we got a funny story time. So I'm driving down Turnpike, bumping my Harry Styles. You know how us thugs do. Look up in my rear view and psst. If you're in the aftermarket scene, you know these headlights. So I figure, all right, this dude trying to race, and I ain't finna race him. So I'm waiting for this dude to pull up alongside of me. Flies right by me. Now, speed limit on Turnpike is 70. And this dude passed me like I was standing still, so he's probably doing 170. And before that thought even finishes, I just see, boom, he hits the median, and he goes airborne. I felt like Paul Walker at the end of Fast and Furious Part 1 when Vin Diesel was like, dude is flipping through the air like a cheerleader. It's one thing to see this in movies, but when you see this happening right in front of you, bruh. Right, so I pull over, and then I start thinking, wait a minute. If I run over there, I'm not even the first on the scene. I am the scene, okay? Yep. If I run over there and I look in this dude's car and his head is like decapitated, I'm not going to be able to ever unsee that. As I'm mid-thought, two dudes from out of nowhere run over to this guy's car. So I'm like, okay, they're doing their part. Right. Let me call 911. 911, what's the emergency? Bruh, it was end of Fast and Furious 1. He's Vin Diesel. I'm Paul Walker. You capping? No, I ain't capping, bro. Send everybody. Helicopters. You know how it do. Northbound, southbound. What's up, Pørn? Shoot, I don't know the moon over there. I think it's north or west, at least west. All right, hang on, stay on the line. So as I'm on hold, this dude runs up to me. Oh my God, what just happened? He zoomed past me and then hit that median and he flew up above my car, but I've been preparing for this, Plur, my whole life. What you know about Burnout Paradise? Come see me, Plur. Somebody else runs over to me. Bro, what happened? I just saw it was like the end of Fast and Furious 1. I know, bro, I know. Is he dead? He has to be dead. I'm on the phone with 12 right now. You on the phone with the cops? Yeah. Both them dudes took off. Never seen him again, not a day in my life. And as I'm on hold with the cops, I start noticing the people that are across the street looking into the guy's car. They have this weird look on their face. So I'm on hold, and a third dude comes up to me. But this third dude, I smell him before I see him. And he smelled like straight Hennessy. What happened? Man, I was just driving. I thought this dude was trying to race me. And bam! Flipped like 12 times and then crashed his car. I did? What you mean? I don't know. I just woke up on the grass over there, and then I walked over here. Why is my car all messed up? Bro, were you ejected from the vehicle? Man, I don't know. Sir, are you there? Yeah, bro, hold on one second. Oh, shit. Yes, ma'am. I think I'm here with the driver. Can we talk to him? Yeah. So I hand the dude the phone. Hello? Yeah. No, I'm okay. I don't know. Here, tell her what happened. Right. And then he stumbles into the street and goes back over to his car. All right, well, officer is going to call you here in a bit. We have all the information. Okay, bye-bye. So I hang up with the cop. Right. So now he's observing the wreckage with the other bystanders. He's just as confused as the other people are. So my phone rings. It's the cops. Hello? Yeah, I'm on the way. It's a lot of traffic. You can go ahead and leave. But just so you know, we might be contacting you. You might need to appear in court to say your side of the story and what happened. That's cool? I mean, it's whatever. And that's it. That's the end. I know when you go out drinking, alcohol starts making you feel invincible, but
yeah, y'all, don't y'all be drinking and driving. It's not cool. It's not it. We're going to get into some Tommy G, though. Let's see what's going on in this motherfucking USA. Motherfucking USA. I don't want to hear no ads. Make sure to pause that. Let's see. Making sure the camera's still working. We're back.
If we wanted to buy fentanyl, how easy would it be to find around here? It's easy.
The homeless pooping, that's like inevitable down here. You're gonna see that every 5 feet type.
Everywhere footage. I ain't never seen this shit before.
San Francisco's Tenderloin neighborhood is at the heart of the narrative about the city. Drugs, homelessness, crime.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're in San Francisco, an open-air drug market of the Tenderloin. Here to show you the fentanyl crisis and what's going on.
Fentanyl, y'all. Fentanyl's getting crazy. Fentanyl's everywhere. I got a video that I might put out soon. But yeah, back to the fentanyl.
That's one of the things this place is famous for. Yasmin found the first human shit. And right behind us, someone is lighting a pipe or something. San Francisco is home to a notoriously gritty neighborhood called the Tenderloin. It's a place where people regularly smoke fentanyl, commit robberies, and poop in public all in broad daylight. It is home to an open-air drug market, and it's one of America's hotspots for fentanyl and homelessness. Shootings, murders, robberies, and assaults are the words you frequently find in headlines about this area. It's sort of a Wild West place where criminals run the streets, and it's gotten so bad that on March 14th of 2024, citizens and business owners banded together to sue the city of San Francisco because, and I quote, residents are terrified to leave their homes and businesses are unable to recruit staff. This is because if you walk yourself to work in the Tenderloin, it's almost certain that you will encounter people smoking fentanyl and injecting heroin. It's not uncommon to see naked homeless guys pooping and masturbating in front of you, and while you are at your job, you will need to be alert on whether the person entering your store will be stealing from you or trying to use the company bathroom to do drugs.
It don't matter what happens to me. I've been homeless before, but I'm not getting addicted to no blues, to no Fent, to no pink, to no white, to none of that bug. You feel me? You feel me? I'm not doing it. Don't matter how tough it get. I'm not doing it. Ain't gonna happen.
It's a scary and filthy place, and it's also a very sad place because you have thousands of people living in absolute misery and turmoil.
Right.
People that could be living up to their potential, but for some reason aren't. It's a huge problem with no end in sight. So the question is, what do you do about this? People on the right side of the political spectrum believe the solution involves more police, being tougher on crime, and moving the homeless people out of the area. But where do these people go? People on the left take what they view as more of a humanitarian approach. They look at drug addiction as an illness, and they believe the best way to help the problem is to invest into things like clean needles and pipes in an effort to prevent disease spreading, and also to provide housing and other resources for the people struggling. Today, we show you one of America's worst neighborhoods, we examine how the Tenderloin got to this point, we show you what happens here on a daily basis, and we talk about what could be done to improve this area. Let's hit the streets. Quick announcement, we've restocked the hoodies. Big dogs gotta eat. We got them in the black, we got them in the blue. They're jumping off the Tenderloin. This section of the city earned its name after the higher quality cut of meat, beef tenderloins. And this was because police officers in the early 1900s would be able to afford beef tenderloins because of all the bribes they accepted due to ignoring illicit activity in the area. The bribes really kicked in when California passed the Red Light Abatement Act in 1914. This meant that other areas got more heavily policed, and that due to the tenderloin's reputation for lax policing, many of those tenderloin to set up shop in the area. So law enforcement looking the other way has long been part of this neighborhood's history. This area is particularly diverse, and some of this is due to the migration that followed after the Vietnam War. A significant number of people came from Vietnam, Laos, and Cambodia and moved to the area due to its affordability. Now, as far as housing goes in the Tenderloin, something notable is 25% of the housing stock is owned by nonprofits. This means a lot of the housing is halfway houses, homeless shelters, and recovery centers. And nonprofits do this in order to help the homeless community. A 2022 report estimated that 3,800 homeless people call this place home on any given night. And part of the reason homeless people love places like San Francisco, Los Angeles, and Phoenix is simply because of the nice weather that allows them to be outside year-round. So to summarize,
chat, let me know what I missed. Oh, summary right here.
This place has been plagued by drugs and crime for over 100 years. Arguably the human poo capital of America. They even apparently have an app here in San Francisco that tracks where human poo is so you don't step in it on the street.
14,597 calls about piles of poo.
Down by the Civic Center, it's pretty grim.
The Poop Patrol will have a staff of 6 and 2 trucks for a cost of about $750,000.
It's going to be an interesting...
It's not fentanyl that's the problem. It's shit everywhere. Literally shit everywhere.
week to film because Chinese leader Xi Jinping, among other Asian leaders, are in town meeting with Biden, Kamala Harris. We filmed this episode in November of 2023. During this time, San Francisco was hosting the annual meeting for APEC, or the Asia Pacific Economic Cooperation. APEC promotes free trade and economic development among the nations that are members. And I can understand why the United States would want to clean up the streets to welcome our foreign guests to town, but here are two questions that come to mind. One, as it is largely Chinese fentanyl flooding the San Francisco streets, should not Chinese leader Xi Jinping see the effects of his country's export? And two, why is it that we can clean the streets up for foreign leaders, but we can't clean up the streets for the American taxpayer that lives there and funds the cleanup in the first place?
Right, we cleaning up the house and shit before the guests get here. But when we live in here in our comfort, there's trash everywhere. You got your clothes piled everywhere. But in this case, it's shit everywhere. Shit everywhere that you can step in and smell it. It's getting bad.
Place. It appears that the Tenderloin has been altered a little bit. It's gotten a little bit of a clean image so that dear leader Xi Jinping doesn't see how crazy it really is. But we're going to give you a picture of what it's like in San Francisco's open-air drug market, the Tenderloin. Let's begin.
It's an advertisement. Back to the video.
Right now what you're seeing is a lot of handsome Asian gentlemen walking around San Francisco, and from what I'm gathering from locals, San Francisco did not look like this only a week ago. They kind of cleaned a lot up.
Trash are what some people in the Tenderloin have learned to live with day in and day out.
Well, over the week of September 22nd, city crews collected more than 36,000 pounds of it in the Tenderloin. That's more than 18 tons, and that's
18 tons between the days of the 22nd and 28th. That's 6 days. 6 days worth of shit on the street.
Only what public works crews hauled away. It doesn't even include what was picked up by the CBD or Urban Alchemy. And it's just one average week. The trash never stops.
And this guy looks like Secret Service or... Holy shit, look, riot police. What is cooking up today, huh? I thought there was gonna be a video about fentanyl and homelessness and drug addiction, but it looks like it might be interspersed with a little bit more. Are we protected from Vippers here?
Don't leave your valuables with you.
Okay.
Because like they would entice them to break it. But then I'm here until 5:30.
Okay, and if you need help fighting them off, call us too, okay?
Okay.
San Francisco is famous for being one of the more lawless places in America, but because all the foreign leaders are in town, we're putting up a pretty strong show of force. I don't know.
Sorry for pausing, but yeah, San Fran is one of the lawless towns, and if you don't know what a bipper is, well, bippers are people that break into your cars, they get away with it, people that can walk in your stores and walk out with the stuff and still get away with it, you know what I'm saying? They just recently changed those laws, if I'm not mistaken, about a year and a half ago, so yeah, if you live in San Fran, tough shit, literally.
I don't know if it's going to be an entirely accurate picture of what it's like day to day, but look, as you can see, police and law enforcement and whatnot. These guys are zooted and booted and ready to rumble, so I'm guessing there's going to be some clashes today. We're going to go meet with some of our contacts, guys that can really show us what this thing's about. That's what this channel is about, getting inside access to places most people don't, so we can bring you the real, honest, raw truth. I have a feeling it's going to be a little harder today for people to sell fentanyl with all these law enforcement in town. Can we go through this way, go around? So something that I think is always interesting about when you find like homeless camps or really bad drug issues, that it's very close to high wealth areas. So we got our whole Ray-Bans, we got designer fashion. In the midst of this is extreme poverty. We're meeting our contact at this train station. We'll see you guys then. Is this where it normally goes down? Is right here? It's busy.
This is like the nice part of the Tenderloin. Once you go in there, that's where it's really at. I mean, you walk down here right now.
There's so many police and federal agents.
Not only that, normally this is not like that. Like this. It's really, really dirty. So where I'm from is about 10, 15 minutes south. But yes, I've been here, Bay Area, Stockton all my life.
Nice to meet you.
Nice meeting you too.
How you doing? How you doing?
This is my brother.
How you doing, brother?
We waiting on my cousin right now. All this Apex shit got it real crowded. So he said he like 5 blocks away, but he driving.
So is it not normally like this? I know there's like a million
million feds, a million police around here.
It's never like this. You pick like the exact week where
you be a little funky in the Tenderloin.
Yeah, for sure. I said we used to be out here doing our thing probably about 12, 15 years ago. But we was outside, but my cousin, he never left. So that's why when I seen your shit, I'm like, I know who to put Tommy G in contact with.
One thing I think that's a little funny is like when the Chinese leaders come to town, it's their fentanyl that's tearing up the town. But when they come, they gotta clean it up. You know what I mean? I think they should see some of the fentanyl.
They should.
We should show Xi Jinping a bag of fentanyl and be like, excuse me, sir, do you know where this came from?
For real. This is f***ing up our nation right now, man.
Are we officially in the Tenderloin right now?
It's just across the street. Even right here, usually all you gonna see because nodding, leaning, everything. They got the Secret Service.
Have you guys heard of ISO?
What's ISO?
It's like stronger than fentanyl.
Got some new shit now? What the f?
If you could speak directly to the great leader Xi Jinping, is there anything you would tell him?
They whole culture is crazy. From what I heard, at least, ain't it communism?
Yeah. What do you think about communism?
Just being from America, I don't think it's right. I don't think one person should have that much power.
We are in the BART, which is the subway or train system?
Bay Area Rapid Transportation.
What do you notice that's different about today compared to normal?
We are literally at one of the grossest, nastiest BART stations that I ever know.
In San Francisco.
And it's clean today.
It's clean.
So what do you think it is that when foreigners come to town, when presidents from other countries come to town, we can clean it up? Or when regular old Americans are here, hey, we're just going to make it a shithole. What do you think about that?
I think it's backwards.
We need to run. Tommy G, a fighter too. He goes
wrestler. Wrestling jiu-jitsu.
You good at that shit?
Pretty good, yeah.
Let's see. Oh, shit. Okay. Oh yeah.
We're gonna look into the fentanyl, the trank, and all the drugs that are hitting the city right now, and give you an inside look. Let's go, boots on the ground.
Your skin isn't the same as everyone else's. That's why age.
Another advertisement. Sorry.
It'll be a lot more of these right now.
So is this a rich area here?
Yes, it is. That's the cool part about it.
These high-rises, condos and shit, it's hella expensive to live in.
And in the midst of that is literally a bed sheet with like poop and shit on it.
Blood. You pay $4,500 a month. Brush this.
So what is it like running a shop? People stealing shit all the time. There's homeless guys pooping in front of your store.
I mean, we've been here for some years though, so everybody respects it.
The homeless pooping, that's like inevitable down here. You're gonna see that every 5 feet type shit. You know what I mean?
So what struggles you face as a business owner in San Francisco?
Over here be booming, bro.
Yeah. Are you guys seeing the impact of fentanyl hit the streets?
Hell yeah, it's the worst shit ever.
Yeah.
That shit worse than heroin, all that shit, man. That shit turned everything into zombies out here.
Yeah.
Lady trying to trade some Ben & Jerry's ice cream for some fentanyl.
Trade some Ben & Jerry's ice cream. It was still frozen too.
Do you think she boosted that ice cream?
I don't know. Where is she?
When Olympics come to town, when leaders come to town, we try and give a squeaky clean image to the world that everything's okay here, when really, it's not.
Very rare footage.
I ain't never seen this shit before.
Tell us about the area that we're in right now.
This is the Took Street.
What's it like here?
Like a lot of drugs, a lot of homeless people live down there. A lot of mental ill. I live here like almost 13 years.
Does it normally look like this?
No. Nighttime is bad because you got bars. The president is here today. That's why they clean everything.
This is a high crime area?
Yeah. 2 people got killed a month ago.
What happened?
It's the drugs. Each corner they sell like fentanyl.
If we wanted to buy fentanyl, how easy would it be to find around here?
It's easy. A lot of people like Halloween every day. They dress up like a female guys with a dress. You see half people be all naked.
You see naked people around here?
Yeah.
Nice meeting you, bro.
What kind of an adventure are you taking us on, and what are we gonna see?
I'm just basically gonna take you on a little quick extravaganza.
Okay.
Kind of sad, but you feel me?
We're gonna see Fetty Wap.
A lot of Fetty Wap concerts sold out. I'm gonna give you the flip side to both. Feel me? It's people out here actually working to actually save lives and shit.
I mean, I see a lot of people cleaning. I see I know there's a lot of treatment centers here.
Yeah, we got resources trying to give people jobs. We usually walk around with Narcan and fentanyl testers for the people that like to take pills and smoke weed and shit just so we test it. That shit is becoming a big monster.
Where a lot of stuff is becoming laced.
A lot of stuff is laced.
And if someone's laced with fentanyl, that could be a very deadly mistake, right?
For sure.
You think you're gonna take a couple puffs of weed, it's gonna be a nice day, and all of a sudden,
it's been going like that. Say like the past year or two after the pandemic.
So one thing to draw your attention to is the architecture in the area. So this is the anti-homeless architecture where they don't let people in.
Damn, so they got anti stuff over there, bro, where the homeless can't even sleep. They got some of that stuff in New York too, and it's real bad where you gotta have one of those things to wake you up after taking some late shit, bro. Man, that's not better living, man. And then he had a point, Tommy. He had a point when he was talking about with the Olympics. Every time we have it here in America or anywhere, of course, and then visiting countries come, it's like, oh, we're cleaned up for you guys and all this and that. But then once it's over, back to normal, back to the shithole it once was. You know what I'm saying? That's crazy, bro. So we do got the resources to do it, but we don't. They gonna control us with our food, our medicine, our education, and so on and so forth, man. They got us where they want us, but you know what I'm saying? By doing this, they proven to me, they always could help us, but they ain't going to. They ain't going to, bro.
Or sleep. What do you think about that?
That ain't stopping shit. Now they just putting up tents.
Homelessness is something that's much easier to get into than out of. I had a conversation with a professor from the University of Wisconsin that researched homelessness, and when it comes to breaking down why people become homeless, he said it's easiest to break it down like this. A third of the people are homeless due to drug addiction issues, a third are homeless due to mental illness, and a third are homeless because they were living paycheck to paycheck and one financial setback took them out. And really, there's a lot of overlap between those three categories. But let's dive more into the financial aspect. Only 44% of Americans are equipped to handle an emergency expense of $1,000 or more. So whether it be a car repair or a hospital bill, that's enough for many people to miss rent and begin the downward spiral to homelessness. What's more is a lot of the people that are homeless were dealt a bad hand from the beginning. One study of women living in temporary shelters found that 78% of them reported being the victim of...
You're supposed to put the first 500 in safe and lose the combination. Basically, save your money for a rainy day. Always save your money for a rainy day. I repeat, save your money for a rainy day. At least $1,500, maybe $2,000. Matter of fact, let's push it up to $2,500. Save up $2,500 just for a rainy day. Don't even touch that money.
Of childhood abuse. That's staggering. When you consider the following variables: a nationwide trend of rent and cost of living going up, inflation lowering purchase power, easy access to highly addictive drugs, in particular the fentanyl that's flooding across our southern border, high rates of mental illness, an all-time high of household debt, and relatively low amounts of savings. These conditions make for the perfect storm of homelessness.
It feels messed up though that you even have to design a city like that.
Right.
Part of me understands if I was a business owner, I don't want a bunch of homeless people in front of my business. But when you look at just a person that wants a place to sit,
right,
it's tough. There's a yin and yang to this problem.
If that wasn't right there, that's human shit. Yeah, that's human.
That's one of the things this place is famous for. Yasmin found the first human shit. What can you tell us about the tenderloin? I'm from Milwaukee. I haven't seen anything like it before.
You know, the tenderloin is supposed to be like when you cut meat. They say the tenderloin is like the most precious part of a meat, right? When you're doing like the little Jewish cut thing or whatever. So this is like really the prime financial area. You know, you got the financial district down the street. There's money out here, really, is what it is. You get deep into the tenderloin, it's like with all this money out here, it ain't changing the poverty out here. It ain't no in-betweens out here. Ain't no middle class. You either living dirt poor, or you living up, or you getting it up. It's pimping, hoeing, dope, dealing, killing. Out here, you know what I'm saying? Police don't give a f. You know what I'm saying?
I can tell. It seems like things are pretty out in the open. Like you don't have to really worry about it.
They don't give a f.
Many people have been complaining that San Francisco is too soft on crime. So let's examine the policies that are in place in the city. Chesa Boudin, who served as DA from 2019 to 2022, ran on a progressive platform of decarceration and justice reform. One of the first policies he implemented as DA was the elimination of cash bail for certain offenders not deemed to be a public safety risk. Progressives argue that cash bail creates a two-tier justice system. If you don't have money for bail, you will be stuck sitting in a cell while a wealthier person is able to walk free. Furthermore, the issue is compounded as impoverished people are forced to work with public defenders who are underpaid and overworked. Conservatives push back against this because they believe this creates a revolving door system that the criminals are aware of. Not only do the criminals have no fear of consequence, but this also results in a demoralized police force that doesn't want to do their job if they know it won't have an impact. Let me know in the comments which ideology you...
And that's why it's very important to pay attention to who you vote for in your states, governors and your politicians and all that. Yeah, the presidency and all that matters, whatever, but it really matters with what state you live in and who you're voting for there, with your judges, your police, All that plays a part because it affects your economy within that state, your taxes, your state laws. Yes, there's federal laws, but when we talk, on a different scale, those votes matter when it comes to the state that you live in. You feel me? Me personally, I can care less about who's the president of the United States, but I care more about who's the judge in this town or who's, the school, whatever, all that stuff within your state, though. That to me is what matters the most because it affects you. It affects you more than you realize it.
You'd prefer to have in charge in your city?
The only thing is, you see kids coming, respect kids. You see women and older people, respect them. You know what I'm saying? It's like, see somebody grandma coming, hey, put that shit away.
The Chinese leaders in town right now, and you know where all the fentanyl comes from?
China.
So what do you think about that?
It's all part of the government plan. They put Coke and Coca-Cola at one time. I mean, it's all population control. It's all part of the life that want to keep control. If they don't keep control of people, then one day they feel that they'll be overpopulated like China.
So you think the government is letting it in to try and take people out?
I think that the government is having no choice because China has the most power and has the most money when it comes to influencing other countries. I mean, we're America. We're a country that's supposed to be the land of the brave, but in reality, I mean, we're the land of the brave or the slave. So I can't tell you the truth, man. China is a place that they've been dealing with America. They know how to infiltrate and they know how to do things. So I think that we got an enemy that we just finally got to meet our match. You know what I'm saying?
How much money do I need if I want to buy a hit of Fetty? How much money do I need?
Shit, I mean, I can't tell you all that. You better ask somebody that sell it. If you look around the ground, you might find a sack, man. All I can say is, if you don't know what it is, you better ask somebody.
I'm doing this more documentary and shit. You know, I'm rapping shit now.
Yeah, I know that, huh?
Feel me?
What's up? What kind of documentary you got?
Feel me?
How you come up down here?
I come up down here from Oakland. I'm out here saving lives on this fentanyl shit and shit too. You feel me?
Okay. You know, over 620 people they got record is dying from that stuff.
I'm gonna give you some facts about that shit. This is my uncle, y'all. He gonna tell y'all a little bit more about what's going on.
What is it like sweeping through the streets right now?
It's not too good right now because, like I said, it's over. What they got record is over 620 people dying from fentanyl.
What do you think should be done?
They need to have more education for them. A long time ago, they used to have programs like CEDAR, and do a training program. Fentanyl is the problem of it, but what's the underneath of all the fentanyl? When I'm talking about the mental health, the homelessness. But you got the people like the mayor making skating rings. I mean, it's okay for them to skate, have a safe place to go to skate, but you build that thing costs $2 million, and you ain't got no place for these homeless and sick people to go. And this is a lifesaver. But some of them get mad when you finish this to them because they get high and they get away from all their problems, right? And that's another reason they.
Just fucking if you can.
You need Astapro.
Oh, there's more poop right here. So that's poop number 2, and that was only a half a block away from poop number 1.
But you're gonna see a lot more of that. That's okay, that can be addressed easily. That's nothing. Compared to other problems, that ain't shit, right? That's shit, but you understand what I'm saying?
I see what you're saying. When did fentanyl hit the city?
During the fucking pandemic.
What can you tell us about the Tenderloin, man?
Shit, it is what it is, you feel me? We're ready to get our money, eat, you feel me?
What advice do you have to some?
Wait, so was the pandemic a distraction from the infiltration of fentanyl? Just a question.
When battling addiction.
Yep. Shit, just stay strong, try to stay grounded, and put your trust in God. You feel me?
Are there resources for people out here that are looking to get help?
Yeah, there's resources, you know. You gotta want it though. You gotta want it. If you don't want it, then you ain't gonna get it.
All right, well, have a good day, okay?
You too. God bless.
Yes, sir.
The people that are leaning over, what is that about?
Pretty much people are high on fentanyl all day.
There's something about it that makes you back.
Yeah, that's kind of like what I watch your steps and species some shit around. But when you see that whole look and everything, we pretty much know what's going on, especially when somebody's standing up sleep.
We interrupt this broadcast. That just, it's kind of unbelievable, isn't it?
Yeah. Y'all don't have one of these in Milwaukee?
We don't have human shit everywhere.
Oh.
We have our issues in Milwaukee, but not human shit.
Well, I think this is a welcome center. Like they might give Narcan and all of this. This is some resource shit that we might want to get on there, bro.
Next, we talked to a guy from St. Anthony's. St. Anthony's is a nonprofit that hires a lot of ex-cons to do social work in the area. And I think this is a great idea because if you want someone to navigate the streets properly, you should probably find guys that know the streets and have been in the streets themselves.
So tell me what you do here and where we are.
Jones and Golden Gate, and I work right here at St. Anthony's. I work with the homeless. We give them showers, we wash their clothes, we give them food, and we help them like basically get off the streets.
Sounds like you got your work cut out for you. There's a lot of people here that need help. What is it like and what do you see day to day?
Day to day, I see people overdosing, bringing them back. It's crazy.
Have you had to use Narcan on someone?
No.
How do you bring them back if they're overdosing?
Put the Narcan up their nose, and then you hit it with the pump 2 times, and then it brings them back.
I guess, where do you see this going? Is it getting better? Is it getting worse?
It's getting a little better out here. It's getting a little better.
It'd be people that's relatively been in the streets, relatively may have been in jail, or relatively used to use drugs. You feel me? That get these jobs, and it's a help. It's a help to our streets. So you feel me? They need to keep them grants.
In your opinion, what makes or breaks someone's success in becoming sober or getting off the streets?
Should put an effort to it and giving them help.
With a lot of these folks that you're working with, do you think childhood trauma or mental illness is a big part of their journey?
Yeah.
What is it that's tearing up the city right now? Is it more than fentanyl or is it primarily fentanyl?
I'm gonna say fentanyl. Killing people. All my friends, everything. Relatives, they all dying off of it. Dying, left to right.
So if you had a message...
Relatives, they all dying off it. Killing people.
Total deaths, fentanyl deaths, methamphetamine, heroin, Series 6. What the hell is Series 6? What is this new shit? That's why I said, if I'm ever homeless ever again, I'm still not gonna be doing these drugs in the street, bro. It ain't worth it. It ain't worth it. That's that glass.
All my friends, everything. Relatives, they all dying off of it. Dying, left to right.
So if you had a message to America about this crisis, what would it be?
Leave it alone.
Leave it alone?
Leave it alone.
Current day, that fentanyl is just huge in the city. When did it start hitting the city, and when did you first hear about it?
Maybe 3 years ago, and I don't use fentanyl anymore. I used it for a short period, and then I got injured. I went to the hospital. They put me on methadone, and the end of the story with fentanyl.
What's your drug of choice now that you're trying to escape?
I guess meth.
Meth? Okay. And for someone that lives around this area, how easy is that to find and buy?
It's on every corner.
Every corner? I would imagine in your shoes that makes it very hard to get away from it.
I can, yeah.
Is there anything the city could be doing better to help someone in your shoes?
Gotta educate people.
What's the first hit of meth? Was it love at first sight?
It might have been, yeah, but that's because you're trying to fill a hole. You're trying to fill some kind of an emptiness.
What's your plan forward, or what's your next move?
Well, my goal right now is to get housing, legal housing, not a squat or.
If there's youth watching this that are wondering if they should experiment with drugs,
as young people, you're not missing anything. You don't need to do drugs to feel like you're gonna be a part of something. It's not necessary. Just have a good life, drug-free, and stay healthy.
What do we got here?
#1 team there is, Warriors.
Fuck the Warriors.
What percentage of people out here using Boost to supplement their use?
So, first and foremost, you have to have mothers from around the world sit down and have a real debate. Because in 100 years, the human race is going to be doing cocaine. Have you ever done cocaine?
Not yet.
Now, when you look at your trash cans, and now you see excess of trash. Well, how do you stop inflation when you start...
I'm not trying to talk shit, but this dude kind of reminds me of the dude from the movie Warriors, come out to play. Don't mind me.
Talking to your neighbor and realistic that in 100 years, human race will be doing cocaine, will be doing opium, will be doing fentanyl. Then that person is going to boost. So the more you boost, the more you hurt your neighbor. So now you don't know your neighbor that well. So now that there's conflict because no, I don't want my niece growing up and using drugs.
So we come full circle, or if you talk to your neighbor more,
then you zone better because now it's not decriminalizing it, it's legalizing it. Why? Because we're letting the underworld win at night. When you're honest with yourself and say, you know what? My mother says, you know what? I'm talking with the other mother from another continent. My son does that too. But now when you accept it, and instead of denying that person, now you zone better. So now at 3 o'clock in the morning,
I think you speak in a smart and poetic way, but we do have an appointment we have to walk to. So I wish you the best. All right, man. Take care.
You keep it illegal.
I hear you.
When you see cities like Los Angeles, San Francisco, New York, with crime and all the bad things that are happening there, it's easy to point at them as a punching bag for bad progressive policies. And while I do agree some of those progressive policies are counterproductive, I do think it's important to highlight that in rural areas across the country, you look at Kentucky, Mississippi, West Virginia, these are Republican-dominated places, and they have a lot of the same problems that the progressive cities do too, just in rural pockets. High rates of drug addiction, high rates of welfare, high rates of unemployment. So if we are going to advance as a country, I think we need to compare notes and work together as a team to say what solutions are truly going to benefit each area, and what can make a city a good, safe, and employable place to live no matter where it is in the country.
Good questions. And
right behind us, someone is lighting a pipe or something. It's just so open and blatant here.
I was out here on the streets from here, San Jose to Stockton, and I used to be one of these guys out here selling drugs, doing drugs. So I was a part of this lifestyle for almost 20 years. I went in and out of prison for 5 times. I couldn't stay out of the street for more than 90 days. I would get out of prison within 2-3 months, right back in, 5 times.
Is there a story from that time period that can give us an insight into what your life was like?
I grew up around drugs and gangs all my life. So when I was a little kid, I already knew I was going to end up in prison. For me, I was able to get out of it through a lot of pain, and I finally made a choice in prison to finally get out of it. Now I'm out almost 5 years clean.
Congratulations, brother.
How you doing? Welcome to San Francisco, brother.
Thank you.
Our area right here in Soma and the Tenderloin really has not changed too much at all. As you can see, we have a lot of children in this area that got to walk through this. This area of San Francisco with these buildings and complexes actually have the highest concentration of children in all of San Francisco. So it's just really frustrating to see that our area is being affected by the drugs and the homelessness the most. A lot of the businesses out here have been shut down. Everything in this radius, honestly, has been shut down. You see a lot of these black bags that these individuals are carrying around. Those black undiscreet bags come from this place called the Harm Reduction, the Needle Exchange down on 6th Street. I'll show you guys. They give out a lot of utensils and paraphernalia to drug addicts that are struggling. It doesn't really help them. It's actually enabling them and keeping them in this cycle of using.
Let's talk about the...
Like you said, there's a yin and yang to this whole thing when they're trying to find a solution, but it's like while trying to get the solution, it's like, all right, what can we do while people are still using it unsafely? So it's like, damn, like, while we provide them with safe, clean needles and utensils and stuff, they're still technically using it and harming themselves and could potentially, you know, take something that's laced or something and not have Narcan on them and
the business of harm reduction. In 2023, over 800 people died from overdose in San Francisco, 80% of which involve fentanyl. One of the ways that people try and reduce this is harm reduction. Harm reduction is the providing of paraphernalia such as pipes, needles, and foil to addicts for the safer consumption of the drugs. Many people argue that while you are working on the larger issue of getting people out of addiction, you might as well work in the meantime on the task of giving them clean tools to prevent long-term negative effects such as HIV, hepatitis, and other diseases from being spread. Millions of dollars flow into San Francisco every year to help towards harm reduction. This spending allows the distribution of over 240,000 needles every month to drug addicts in San Francisco, or about 1 needle for every 3 residents in the city. The position of harm reduction is a controversial one. San Francisco Mayor London Breed was a longtime supporter of harm reduction, helping to launch the Safe Injection Task Force program in 2017. However, in February of this year, she reversed her position, saying that harm reduction was not reducing the harm, it was actually just making things far worse. Experts criticized this statement, saying that this was just a political move for the upcoming election, not a statement based in facts. But needless to say, drug addiction and homelessness are at the top of mind for San Francisco people as they head to the polls.
Another ad.
Morning, Susan. Kiki Palmer?
lot more younger, able-bodied individuals that are down here on the streets. I mean, these individuals could be working, they could be doing something, but they are being pacified by the government with $800 a month from general assistance, the ability to steal anything they want from the stores with no repercussions, and the open air drug market, which makes it ridiculous. You know, I was a criminal. I sold drugs, I used drugs. I'm what the courts call a career criminal. I've changed my life around, but I have been caught several times for selling cocaine and gun possession and different things of that nature. With no consequences, there's no incentive to get right and change your life. It's a beautiful thing when you can change your life around until you really get sober. And now, I don't believe, don't get me wrong, I don't believe in mass incarceration. I don't think people should have to go to prison to get clean off drugs. However, a 90-day detox is not too much to ask. If you're trying to get sober yourself, do not come to San Francisco. Listen to me, do not come to San Francisco if you're trying to get sober. These programs are riddled with too many obstacles for you. It's going to be really a struggle to stay clean. When the federal judge told me I shouldn't come back to San Francisco, when my federal PO told me I shouldn't come back to San Francisco, when the drug counselors told me I shouldn't come back to San Francisco, I didn't really understand why they were saying that, but now I do see why. You got to have a lot of tenacity to hold on to your sobriety in this area.
Hey fellas, is there a harm reduction site up here?
They give the needles and the tinfoil right on 6th Street, right?
I've never been to that one.
Oh, okay, where do you go?
I go to 10th Street, but they give you like needles.
But like that tin foil?
They give you foil, pipes, and needles.
I guess the argument is giving them clean pipes and clean needles reduces the spread of diseases.
This comes from the Harm Reduction Center. This type of stuff is littered all over our city.
What is that?
These are individual cotton balls that they roll up for the addicts so they can draw the drugs up through it and filter it.
Is the argument that it stops the spread of disease from dirty needles and all that? That's what their justification is?
That is what their justification is. The Harm Reduction Center got started a long time ago. It was called the Needle Exchange. You give one dirty needle and you get one clean needle in exchange. The only thing logical about it is that they're getting funding. So the more stuff that they give away, the more they can ask for in their annual budget, right? Now that they're giving away all these materials, they can boast those numbers and inflate those numbers and say, hey, we gave away, I don't know, 3 million clean needles. But really what you did is you just gave a bunch of box of needles to individuals and then they ended up in the dumpster or wherever.
When people like Richie hear that their tax money is going towards drug addicts receiving free needles and pipes, it's easy to see why they're getting mad. We are living in a time when many Americans feel like they are barely able to make ends meet, but the taxes keep getting higher, and the politicians we have locally and nationally have no accountability with our money. For example, it appears we don't have money to support our troops at home, but we do have money to send overseas to help other countries bomb men, women, and children to fuel wars we didn't want to be involved in the first place, and these decisions are being made by representatives that oftentimes have a financial interest in the war and are vested in stocks like Raytheon and Lockheed Martin. Homelessness, another example. It seems we don't have the money to solve this issue, but we do have the money to house illegal immigrants, give them hotel rooms, phones, groceries, and more. I guess the question that comes to mind is, why does it seem like non-Americans are being prioritized when it comes to spending American tax dollars? But how do we change this? If we don't pay our taxes, we go to jail. But if our politicians that are clearly insider trading and pretending to be public servants, if they can't account for the spending of our money, or if they go massively over budget, it's all good. They get to keep their job and keep their stock portfolio that is outperforming hedge funds. So this is a bit of a rant, but all this to say, even if the nonprofits are having good intentions, we are living in a time when people are particularly sensitive to how their tax money is spent.
But this is it right here, the Harm Reduction Center. You see, it was going to be closed November 14th to 17th. Well, you guys just missed it.
I'm 40 years old, from San Francisco, born and raised in 83 and shit.
Struggling right now with addiction or what?
Struggling with a lot of things. I got a lot of shit on my plate. It ain't, you know, we can all handle this together and shit.
So when you go into this harm reduction site, do they give you help or do they just give you needles?
Well, they got a lot of shit here. They got needles.
Let me see those. What are those, the easy touch ones?
They got needles, they got pipes and shit. They got, you know, wipes and shit.
Wipes and shit.
Watch live and local news on a variety of networks.
Next we meet Mr. Gao, a San Francisco restaurateur who has experienced a slew of break-ins and frequent vandalism to his restaurant. Unfortunately, this is something he's come to look at as just a cost of doing business in San Francisco.
Your parents came here from Vietnam, you were born in the Tenderloin, spent your first 8 years there, and then...
No, so I came here when I was 13.
13?
Yeah.
So from 13 and then 8 years on, you lived in the Tenderloin.
Yeah.
What was that like?
I thought it was just okay because I didn't know anything better, right? You know, so that's all I know. I didn't know anything about the outside, you know, the outside world. I know the Tenderloin. I go after school program up in the Tenderloin at the Clyde Memorial. There's a building on Elder Street. That's where our homeless people are. So you have friends in Tenderloin. You just do a lot of things on Tenderloin, and you feel safe. You feel comfortable, but you go nowhere. So when I could be able to get out, I'm out.
How has you as a business owner been affected by the theft, the vandalism, the drugs in San Francisco?
We get like graffiti all the time when we're building this place, and then we get homeless people, and then we get people breaking in, right?
Someone just broke your window the other day?
When something happened like this, I have no feeling. Like I feel like it's just normal to me right now. It's like somebody just breaking in, and we learn how.
Damn, even the Asian American, y'all got him feeling like, damn, I'm desensitized to this shit too. Because I was born here and I was like, grow up here, so this is normal to me. You know what I'm saying? Don't take no offense.
Not put any money in a cashier, you know, like stuff like that. We just get used to it. Like become such an inconvenient thing for me, but it's happened that you expect it can happen.
Are you frustrated with how people are not held accountable? Because it seems like people can just get away with this and nothing happens to them.
That's what San Francisco is about, right? It's public safety. We don't have the public safety right now, right? I mean, you come in, you do graffiti, they're just hanging out.
This is graffiti?
Yeah, this is so little. I mean, they would do the whole building, right? There's nothing we can do. We actually record them. We record them breaking in. What we're gonna do? You know, there's nothing we can do. Literally, there's nothing we can do.
Did that frustrate you?
Of course it's frustrating, man.
Do you expect more out of your city, out of your politicians, out of your law enforcement?
Oh yeah, of course.
Be someone that builds something, not destroys it. It's very easy to destroy things. You just kick things, you hit it with a hammer. Anyone can do that. A monkey could do that. But not anyone can build something. So be the person that builds something. There's a lot going on here. I think we gotta have empathy for what individuals are going through, but also you have to make rules of a society that make sense. And to me, a lot of what's going on in San Francisco just doesn't make sense.
Let's bring back some tough love, man, some abstinence-based treatment, and get people to be held accountable for their actions. That's all we asking.
And if everybody got a little compassion, like you said, empathy in their heart, you know what I mean, you ain't got to know somebody, you see them land on them.
Yeah, that's San Francisco's open air drug market, everybody. We're going to get into this Charleston White now. Give me one moment. Give me one moment. Give me one moment. This morning is the morning, in the morning you'll be running back to me. Some Charleston White.
Oh man, here we go, man. I had to bring him back. He's the talk of social media as usual. He's the algorithm king, the YouTube guy, social media guy. He didn't crack the Da Vinci Code. Charleston White, man, he's back.
What's up, man? The kid on the comedy block. I'm officially my career as a stand-up comedian now.
After all these years of working together, I've never seen so many people mad at you as they are right now.
Oh, they here right now?
Every interview I've done, your name comes up. Every barbecue, Easter just passed. Your name was all the old heads at Easter was bringing you up. Your name's everywhere right now.
For what? What I done this time? Yeah, I done so much.
I mean, of course, the Gilly situation, man. A lot of people.
Here's one thing you need to do before you do anything online. Don't spend another dime on Amazon until
you know, a lot of people love you, but this is that one thing where people just don't agree with you.
They agree with King Von. They agree with Dirk. They agree with Fulio. I remember I talked to Bibby's dad. I've talked to Tuka's mom. Man, they done FBG ducks, mama duck. So why is it that they so mad about Gilly's son? And he was a grown kid talking gangster and playing gangster. So it's only two outcomes of this life, right? So why they so mad now? When we watch drill music evolve and erupt, and if I'm not mistaken, Chief Keef's new song is dissing Tuka. Oh, one of Chief Keef's new songs is dissing Tuka.
Yep.
So here we go again. I'm making everybody look like a hypocrite, but because Gilly is one of their favorite celebrities, it's easy to feel sorry for him and be mad at me. And I'm telling everybody who mad at me, suck my son. Give a fuck about that son. And that son was playing gangster. And gangster.
And let me remind y'all, Charleston White, if you do your homework, he has went to the courtrooms. He has went to all the debates. He has showed up and tried to stand for our people, but he's done with that. You know what I'm saying? He done moved on from that. He's a comedian now. And also, Charleston White, he plays into Rat Williams, his whole character. So when you hear him talk like this, yeah, it's a little truth to it, but also remember, it's just his character that he plays. Gets the bills paid.
Gangsters go to jail. And when gangsters go to jail,
And no, I'm not defending him. I just did my homework.
I don't cry. And I don't have no respect for the dead, homie. I don't have no respect for the dead. I have respect for my neighbor. I honor my mother and my father. I love my brother. I pray for my enemies. But I don't give a damn about the dead. When I go to the graveyard, I walk on top of the tombstone. Yeah, I spit on the grave. Yeah, nigga, I don't give a damn about the dead. Y'all do. I respect the living. So I'm saying to all y'all people, how can y'all have so much respect and honor for the dead, but not honor your mother and your fathers? So, nigga, I don't give a damn who mad. I done said worse before. And I'm going to say worse again.
Yeah, say worse.
Did this Gilly, Charleston White back and forth, did it start with the Pop Hunter situation?
Yep. That's where all this started from. Because I didn't know who Gilly the King was. I just saw the Pop Hunter situation. We done that interview, right? And that's when Philly banned me. Back then, that's when I first had my problem with Philly. They was hollering about I couldn't come to Philly, what they was gonna do. So Gilly the King, or whatever the nigga name is, he jumped in my inbox and said, "Is there a problem, Goofy? I'll be in Dallas, and when I see you, I'm gonna slap you." And my response was, "Nigga, you ain't never slapped a nigga who will kill you." So we've been going back and forward.
So he hopped in your DM.
Now he hopped in my DM. Okay. Remember, I screenshotted it and sent it to you.
Yeah, you did. I remember.
So when his son got, I remember being on live when the news broke that day, and one of my partners, who I consider a partner, Kareem Blitz, out of New York, got on my live. And he was chastening Gilly, saying, "This is what you get. You promote these lyrics. You promote this energy. As a matter of fact, Gilly, when you had King Von and Dirk on y'all podcast and they started singing the songs about smoking Tuka, y'all were dancing to it. Y'all were dancing to it.
Did you know?
Oh, man, fuck these damn ads, bro. It's 3 in a row, man. Come on.
To help you.
Pooh Shiesty called home from prison. That nigga was talking big dog talk. They wasn't rebuking that shit. When Jay Prince was on there making threats, they didn't check Jay Prince. So, nigga, y'all promote this detrimental shit. So, here I come. From day one, I've been against it. If your kid playing gangster, I will laugh. If me and you get into it and your kid in a car accident, I laugh. If your kid fall out the car to get run over by a truck, I laugh if I don't like you.
Damn.
If me and you get into it and your baby get molested, I make mockery of your baby getting molested. So your baby.
What?
I don't like you or your kids. I'm that kind of nigga. It's no different than the gang banging nigga when they ride through our neighborhoods and shoot these guns, knowing that there's kids in the neighborhood. It's no different when Kobe Bryant got in his helicopter and they said, hey, Kobe, it's not safe for us to fly. And Kobe said, fly anyway and put everybody's life in jeopardy. He didn't consider those other people.
Oh, man, don't bring up Kobe.
Sometime. Am I wrong? I want to be wrong sometime when a nigga with me. When a nigga with me, I want to be as wrong as possible. So I want to be wrong. Gilly's son and Gilly. But this is how this came about. I showed nigga some compassion, my nigga, when his son got killed.
You did.
I openly showed compassion. And people
on Say Cheese too. On Say Cheese.
Yeah, I showed compassion. I poured my heart out for the man because I put myself in his shoes. Now, I did this openly in front of everybody. Somebody wrote a book, the author of my book. I got a children's book out called Every Neighborhood Needs a Mr. Charleston. Mr. Gaines wrote the book. Mr. Gaines is a former elected official out of Detroit, out of Michigan. He used to be a commissioner in Michigan. So he's wrote several books. So he's a fan of Wallow and Gillies. He's a fan of Charleston White. So by him being a fan of Charleston White and Wallow, he was hoping that he could promote the book to Gilly and Wallow them. So, you know, I openly showed compassion, homie. So the dude promoting the book, Mr. Gaines, man, Gilly, you know, he got disrespectful. You know, why you working with this dude? He's a rat, he's a snitch, he ain't never been nothing in his 20s. And I'm saying, is that how y'all celebrity niggas look at us? Because y'all became celebrities and we were single dads or raising our children while you were writing rap lyrics on the road? He's at home raising our kids, making right choices where I don't have to snitch. See, I ain't been no criminal, homie. I wasn't no criminal in my 20s. I wasn't no criminal in my 30s. I've never been an adult criminal. So, nigga, I said, well, damn, this how this nigga really feel? Even if we had these feelings in the beginning, homie, when your son died, I went out my way and chastised a friend and told my friend, nah, homie, you wrong. Nigga, you go do this? So, nigga, I take my compassion back. Your son.
Damn.
Nigga, as a matter of fact, I hope the killers are forgiven by God and live a long life of redemption with not losing sleep. I ain't lost one sleep, nigga, over my victim. I've never lost sleep over our victim. So I pray that his killers, nigga, live a long life of redemption and don't lose 1 ounce of sleep over Cheese. I think Cheese got what he deserved, nigga. Like every gangster who died in the streets, they get what they deserve. Like every gangster go to jail, nigga, they get what they deserve. So who crying for a gangster nigga who got killed? Who feel bad because we making mockery of a gangster who got killed? Ain't this what we do in the black community? We did it with FBG Duck. We did it with Tuka. We did it with King Von. We did it with Nipsey. We did it with Tupac. We did it with Biggie. What make this boy so special when we can't joke about his death?
Damn.
And who made up the rules that you can't talk about dead people? Show me where you can't work. Show me where you ain't supposed to talk about the dead.
Welcome to First Banjo picks up to 10 numbers.
Man, God bless the dead.
And then show me where karma is real. Where karma go get you for talking about the dead. I'm still waiting for white people to get their karma for slavery. Slavery lasted 400 years. How long we been out of slavery? And white folks still ain't got their karma. What about the police officer who was rehired for killing Tamir Rice? He ain't got his karma. So I don't believe in karma. And I think you can make fun of the dead and nothing go happen to you.
Now, I do want to talk about the karma thing because you called your son on live, and a lot of people are speaking about, you know, you're letting energy into your son's life now. Now people are wishing, and they know you got a son, so they want something bad happen to your son, so it could be a ha this and that.
Well, why is YMW Melly still alive? If energy and karma is real, then let me see. Do you get energy and karma for words or for actions?
Which one?
Actions.
Actions or words?
Actions.
Come on now. My son don't rap gangster. My son is not a criminal. My son is not a popular, well-known rapper walking around with jewelry. My son is unrecognizable to the world. What energy gonna come for him? Because his dad say, hey, let me tease this nigga who can't call this son. So if karma and energy is real, what about all the good karma that I'm supposed to get for working with the kids? Why don't nobody ever say, hey, man, you got some good energy coming? You never heard people say that. You never hear people say, hey, you've been taking care of kids for so long, you got some great karma coming. You never heard people say that. So I don't believe karma or energy. Because if energy is really real, when do white people get theirs for their hateful energy? All the Karens, all the women who done accuse niggas of wrong f***ing them.
Damn.
When do they get theirs?
I don't know.
If karma and energy is really real. And why don't people ever say this for doing good? Why is karma always associated with bad? Why? So I don't believe in none of that shit. I believe you reaping what you sow. You don't reap in what you say. Because if you really reap energy and karma in what you say, we'll all be in trouble for the things we say in relationships. We'll all be in trouble for the thing we say to our baby mamas and our baby daddies. We'll all be in trouble for the things we say in the car when we get cut off in road rage. If karma and energy is really real. So I don't believe none of that. I don't think nothing gonna happen to my son. So what was Gilly's son karma? What did he do in life? What did Tamir Rice? Trayvon Martin, what karma got them where they at? And when do George Zimmerman get his karma?
Right.
Think about this. George Zimmerman sold the Skittles and the gun. And George Zimmerman got a lawsuit out against Trayvon Martin and mama and daddy. When do he get his karma? When do the Catholic priests get their karma for all the molestation that they did? When do the child sex traffickers get their karma? When do the politicians get their karma?
Damn.
Why is karma only for poor people? Because you never hear rich people talk about karma. Because they rob, steal, and destroy. You never hear rich people talk about karma. That's a poor person's concept. And by the way, that's a Buddhist belief.
Let me ask you this, though, because I've seen you get into it with a lot of people. But don't you feel like sometimes, everybody you get into it with, do you always got to go below the belt?
Yeah.
Why?
I go to below the belt with my wife. If me and my brother arguing, nigga, that's why your daddy don't come see you, nigga. That's why your grandmama on your daddy's side died. I go to below the belt with anybody I have an altercation with. Because, nigga, when the gloves are off, the gloves are off. Who fight with limitations? Who put restrictions on fighting? Well, man, homie, when we into it, nothing is off limits. Even if you my woman. Yeah, that's why your daddy tried to when you was a kid.
What?
That's why your daddy will molest you and your sister. Got me. Now, I'm a mean motherfucker when we arguing. You better not, man, I'm a mean motherfucker. So let me be. Because you already know what kind of mouth I got.
That's fair.
So let me be.
That's
now,
fair.
I mean,
if you already
multiple
know who you
people
about to
said you're
argue
banned
with,
from
don't
Philly.
do it.
You say I'm banned from Philly?
Well,
They said that 5 years ago. And when I went to Philly, I sold out.
Why are women everywhere choosing Abby X, the new tummy tuck alternative? I got the tummy.
Yeah, everywhere they say I'm banned from. But, nigga, I ain't never been to Philly other than going to do a comedy show in Atlantic City, New Jersey. I don't have a big fan base in Philly. I go where my fans are. I wouldn't go to Utah. Ain't shit in Utah for me. I'm a Southern guy. Philly is more segregated than the South. Philly conditions, if you stay for 3 days, is depressing conditions. Very depressing. It's like The Walking Dead, and that's outside of Kingston. I rode through there.
Oh, you talking about Kensington?
Yeah, Kensington. So it's not a vibrant place. I'm a vibrant nigga. I like strip clubs. Philly ain't got no motherfucking strip club.
They got a few of them.
Nigga, they ain't got like what we know.
It ain't like ecstasy and shit like that, nah.
That's what I'm saying. So to come from the South in a metropolitan area like Dallas, Fort Worth, to go to Philly, you wouldn't want to stay long because just the visual environment, just the visual of how the environment looks, homie, it looks gloomy. The buildings are old. And I'm saying this when I was there. How can anybody thrive here? Look at these conditions.
Right.
How can it look at the kids, homie? And the violence amongst the youth is unlike no other. So if that's the case, then the future for Philly doesn't look bright because the children are 100% of the future. So when you look at the conditions that these children are born and grow up in, you look at the lack of resources in these conditions, you look at the despair, homie, who's gonna thrive out of those conditions? Who's gonna make it out of those conditions? So the city don't put back into the infrastructures.
Nope.
When you look at the grassroots organizations, they're not getting a lot of funding for after school. Homie, I studied that shit. Remember, I was gonna go back and do trash pickup. Remember, I was gonna partner with Allen Iverson, Big Reed, to come do community work there. So I started studying the conditions. Wallow and Gilly trying to go do prison reform while uplifting gangster codes, rules, and ethics on a podcast in the light. So I'm saying, homie, who got compassion for a nigga whose son got playing gangster, talking gangster, and the daddy still acting gangster? Who got compassion when y'all didn't have no compassion for Miss Dominique, Tuka's mother? So man, f that nigga and anybody who mad about what I'm saying. My tune ain't changed. I've been saying f dead rapper nigga kids. I said f Nipsey Hussle. I said f King Von.
Damn.
Drakeo the Ruler, Slim 4. I've been saying f these niggas. Who's surprised about this? And I'm gonna say f some more. Gillis, I'm gonna say f some more dead kids, nigga. I said f the kids at the Uvalde school shooting. Nigga, I said f them kids at Sandy Hook school shooting.
What?
F them white kids, f them Mexican kids, nigga. Them ain't our babies.
You tripping.
And he ain't no baby. That's a grown nigga got killed in the streets, nigga. Give about no grown nigga getting killed in the streets. I care about babies dying.
You don't think the power of the tongue is real though?
No. Because if the power of the tongue is real, All that shit my mama been talking about prosperity and multiplying, and she ain't got no rewards, and she been paying tithes and all. No, hell no. Hell no, that tongue, the power of the tongue ain't real. Why a nigga can't talk his way to no money then? Nigga I'm for the hit, boy. I'm just my year old. Nigga, why a nigga can't talk his way to no money if the power of the tongue is real? That's all I want to know. Why a nigga can't talk his way into success if the power of the tongue is real? That's all I'm saying. So I don't believe in none of that. I believe in you reap what you sow.
Another fucking ad,
Toss up.
man.
Is
Stop.
our savory Tennessee smoked sausage or our sizzling pepper?
In actions, not you get back what you say, because you say a lot of shit. People say a lot of shit they don't mean and they don't do. But nigga, I mean every goddamn thing I say. I mean everything I say because I think about the things I say.
What do people around you say? Like your mom or maybe Dewberry or there's people in your circle. Do they agree with everything you do? Like, is there somebody in your circle that's like, Charleston, you taking it too far, my nigga?
No. Hell no.
Is that because you don't allow people in your circle that don't agree with you? Like you like people that agree with everything you do? Or they just y'all all think alike?
We all think alike. My mother don't watch social media at all. So she don't know what I say. But she done heard me say somebody dead. Kids say, son, I'm not supposed to say that. She say what you say. I say, mama, if that's true, then why your tithes ain't multiplying? If that's true, so I say, mama, that's y'all belief.
Maybe it's multiplying in health. Everything don't gotta be money though.
Man, my mama done caught coronavirus 7 times.
Damn.
Then my mama done had the COVID-19 7 times, and she got the vaccine.
Shut the fuck up, bro.
Nigga, who want to multiply in health? Don't nobody want to multiply in health the way we eat. We want money. Nigga don't want to be healthy, bro. Nigga rather be unhealthy rich. So no, nigga, listen. All that fairy tale, Bible, religious, Quran, Buddhist, Torah talk. Homie, listen. The people who live against that shit live longer and better. The people who sin and break rules, don't wash their hands, don't use condoms, sleep with random people, they live a vibrant, healthy motherfucking life.
Oh, you
with no problems and issues. Say what you want to say, do what you want to do. But homie, I've said worse. Nigga, I wish on ASIAN babies. I done said worse. I made a whole song talking about a white man, RAPE, a white woman, and a white baby in the head. I made a song.
We got to bleep this out, man.
You see, so now, homie, so I've said worse. Matter of fact, I just lost my Instagram account. They took my Instagram for promoting sex trafficking. Because I said I'm looking for...
No.
They took my Instagram for that. It said promoting sex trafficking. I've said worse. But nigga, when you look at my actions in life, you can't never hear nobody say what I've done. It's always what he said.
Got a point.
So I stand on the fact that actions speak louder than words. I can come online in my character form and say F all the dead people I want, just like the rappers, and cut the phone off and go work in the community and act like I ain't said nothing. Just like the rappers.
Yeah, man. I mean, like I said, every event on Easter Sunday was, I mean, especially at my house, you were the topic of discussion. Every phone call, have you spoke to Charleston? Is he gonna apologize?
No, I'm not gonna apologize. I hope I made his whole family cry with these words.
Oh God.
I don't care about hurting no nigga feelings. Don't give a damn about that, my nigga. If we get into it, my nigga, it's on. It's on.
How'd you get those text messages that you shared, though? Did the promoter sent it to? I mean, the guy that y'all were partnering with, he sent it to you?
He my business partner. Why wouldn't he send it to me? Especially when my nigga done seen me show compassion for him. Why wouldn't my nigga send it to me? And I went publicly, nigga. I stood out before the world. And I went against a friend. I stood out before the world and I went against a friend, somebody I respect and admire, and said, nah, homie, you wrong. Let the man make it. I defended him. So why wouldn't my nigga come back and share this with me and he saw me do this? Some people say, well, he don't want to upset a friend. I'm the kind of friend, go be mad if you don't upset me, nigga. No, nigga, no. This ain't me and my, now, this ain't got, this me and another nigga. So if my partner, my friend, my business, yeah, nigga, let me know what this whole ass nigga done said.
When you read that, I mean, what was that? Was you hurt? Was you angry? Was you disappointed? Did you feel like what when you read that Gilly when he said all that?
I thought to myself, you should have made fun of his son the day he died, nigga. Yeah. You should have made fun of him that day. That's what you get for showing compassion. I was taught, and I believe, that only the strong can show compassion for the weak. So I was strong, homie, in showing them some compassion. And I regretted it.
These are words by supplies, solutions, support. Call.
Yeah, I regretted it. That's why I got so ugly. Yeah, I was disappointed in myself. Yeah, I should have been mean from the get-go when the son, I should have been mean the time he died. It was, yeah. So that's why I went in so hard.
Yeah,
Cause I was disappointed in myself for giving that whole ass nigga some compassion when that bitch ass nigga didn't deserve it.
Yeah, the Pop Hunter shit was fucked up because he was a kid at the time. But then it's like now, if you pay attention, it's a lot of rappers who ratted afterwards and got away with it and still cool, still getting big interviews, still getting that limelight. But Pop Hunter as a kid, after that came out, everybody shut him off.
Homie, what they fail to realize is because of that situation. Homie, this kid went to the verge of almost suicide.
Yep.
Come on, homie. They pushed this, man, this kid was at the height of his rap career, had one of the biggest songs with Lil Uzi Vert.
Corvette.
Gilly them was the one put that paperwork out. Because he was Pop Hunter popping and he wasn't a street kid. And they was trying to shame him for talking gangster. Put the paperwork out, and Cheese was supposed to blow up. Gilly and them did that. So when I didn't know nothing about none of this, I just know the whole rap community was shaming this kid, Pop Hunter. I done my first interview with you talking about it. That's what made Gilly threaten me. That nigga threatened me, homie. That nigga threatened to call me bodily harm because I done an interview. Why wouldn't I diss his kid when I showed compassion and mercy for him? Even after he threatened me. Talk to me like he'll slap me. Nigga, I'll shoot you in your face, nigga.
Damn.
Nigga, you slap me, you'll get wallow shot too.
What?
I'm gonna go to the mental hospital, homie, and say, hey, y'all said I was homicidal and suicidal by ideation and preparation. These niggas playing with me. They threatening me. I'm responding to threats. I ain't threatening nobody. I didn't wake up and say, hey, Gilly. No, he disrespecting me. I didn't wake up looking for trouble.
He did.
I showed compassion.
He did. Oh, man.
Even after he threatened me, I let it go. So, nigga, I got every right to do what I'm doing. I keep telling y'all I'm willing to die and go to jail for the things that come out of my mouth. I'm willing to die, kill, and go to jail for this shit I'm saying. Nigga, you don't think I know this shit dangerous? How long y'all been saying I'm gonna get killed? How long y'all been saying I'm banned? How long y'all been saying karma go get me? It's been 5 years now. Nigga hit me sleep in the barbershop, nigga. I'm out on 2 felony bonds for that.
Damn.
I'm out on 2 felony bonds for that. Nigga, you can't do nothing to me and I not respond. I'm out on 2 felony bonds for that barbershop incident.
Why? I mean, did you chase him or some shit?
I'm out on 2 felony bonds, nigga. So if you do something to me, I'm gonna do something, nigga. I'm out on 2 felony bonds.
Right.
Damn. Speaking of that too, you went viral again. I guess you had a show in Louisiana. What didn't you? Wait, it was a show or what?
I had a show booked for Baton Rouge, Louisiana.
Okay.
And Boosie and them called the promoter because the promoter is from Baton Rouge, Louisiana.
Right.
And Boosie mama and Boosie cousin and Boosie said that they had a table and Boosie cousin was gonna try to jump on me and go to jail. I told the promoter, let's have the show. Nigga, I'm gonna come with the shit. The promoter scared. The promoter said, man, I'm from Baton Rouge. I still got to live here. I said, nigga, so?
Come on, Sal. He still got to live there, though.
So I don't.
Damn.
I don't give a damn about no scary ass nigga. So what he got to live there? I don't. And guess what? I kept the money. Yeah, even though they canceled the show, I kept the goddamn money. Because the show wasn't canceled, it's no fault of mine. So they voided the contract. I keep the money.
I keep the money.
I keep the motherfucking money. Nigga, so, ching.
So wait, that text message, was it a phone call or a text message that Boosie made?
He called. But he called me at first. And so what I did, I scared him and made it like, when I saw how scared he was, I told that nigga, I'm finna call the FBI to try to get Boosie locked up. That nigga begged me not to do it. I told that nigga, you got me f***ed up, nigga. I went to stern that nigga, you got me f***ed up, nigga. You them niggas threatening me, and you talking about, he said, man, but I met my mama. Nigga, I don't give a damn about what they gonna do to y'all. And nigga said, I said, nigga, I'm finna put the FBI on everybody, and I got the text message to prove, and matter of fact, I'm recording this phone call. And hung up, and that nigga was scared of him. And I played like I done called the FBI and everything and get Boosie ass locked up. They don't know if I done it for real or not.
The Honda you want is bro. Get a great offer on the stylish HR-V.
It's all mind games.
Damn. So basically Boosie and them, they don't want none of your shows in Louisiana. Well, Baton Rouge.
Nigga, we had a show booked in Baton Rouge. Baton Rouge ain't rocking with Boosie like that. The promoter just scared of Boosie. The promoter is a weenie nigga.
He's a weenie.
Cause nigga, it's a bunch of people that tried to make some calls. Jay Prince and them that made some calls to try to stop some shows.
Jay Prince and them
called Tommy T's in Oakland to try to stop my show in Oakland. Man, ain't nobody, only weenies get scared of these niggas. But real business folks ain't scared of these niggas, homie. Jay Prince done called and tried to stop some comedy shows. Can't nobody stop a motherfucking thing, nigga. I put this train set together, nigga. I built this track.
This was recent?
I created this lane.
This was
you
recent?
Can't stop what you ain't created, nigga. Didn't nobody let me in. I kicked the motherfucking door in. And I climbed from the bottom to the top. Didn't nobody put the ladder down, nigga. So you can't stop this. I'm the people's champ. And that's what they know.
Wait, this was recent when Jay Prince tried to stop your show?
This was recent. See, Jay Prince and them people, one of Jay Prince's partners tried to go buy my documentary for over 6 figures. Close to $500,000. But they wanted me to apologize. I said, man, I ain't apologize no motherfucking Jay Prince, my nigga. I mean every goddamn word I ever said. Well, ain't nobody gonna be. Man, Whack 100 and I already disrespected that man and destroyed his legacy. Cause you talking about, nigga? Nigga can't no nigga muzzle my mouth, nigga. Only way this mouth stop, nigga, by death.
Damn.
Nigga, I'm the boldest nigga ever spoke, nigga. In the last 100 years. With no fear. Scared of you niggas? So now, nigga, I told him, nigga, I ain't apologizing now, motherfucker, nigga. I stand on every word I ever said, nigga. I think Jay Prince is evil. I think Gilly the King and his son, I think that industry is evil, nigga. See, the industry is dark. I'm light. That's why we can't hang together. Because when light show up, darkness have to go. Yeah. I'm the light, nigga.
Yeah.
I'm the light. Everywhere I go, nigga, I light up issues with just my voice. I got the most powerful voice in America, my nigga. I make people move and shiver and quiver with words. I whoop gangster niggas with words. I'm the topic of household conversation with my words.
Right.
Only to come, nigga, solidify my words by my actions. That's why can't nobody turn me off, nigga, because I am the mother truth in words and in deeds, nigga. And I do wrong. I do wrong, and I want to do wrong, and I like to do wrong, nigga. Good people do bad things just like bad people do good things, nigga. I'm good and bad, nigga. Dual nature. I'm duality, nigga. I'm good and evil. It both exist in me, nigga. And I sin wisely.
You had words from Vlad too, the same day of the Boosie situation.
Yeah. Well, Vlad tried to shame Aiden Ross, homie, for hanging with me. Vlad said that I talk about ripping babies. Now I talked about that Asian babies should be, not that I would. I said that they uncle should rip their motherfucker. What? I said they should. So Vlad upholds Boosie and him using Marlo Mike. He said, well, Boosie was found not guilty. Well, guess what, Vlad? So was OJ, but you still trying to fuck with OJ. You still trying to get OJ. Yeah. So was OJ found not guilty, but y'all still want to handle him like he guilty. Right. And OJ just had 2 murders. Boosie had 9, I think 5.
What?
So Vlad just talking, homie. See, I told Vlad I won't do the interview because I ain't taking $2,000. Yeah, and I think Boosie a hoe. I think if me and Boosie got in the ring, I think I'll make Boosie beg for mercy.
I want to see that.
I think if me and Boosie was to fight, I'll make Boosie beg for mercy.
I want to see
that. Would sell
like
out
a
so
real hoe.
fast.
I think I can make Boosie holler, I'm a hoe.
I want to see
in a
it.
fight.
I want to see it.
That would sell out like crazy.
I think I can make Boosie, if me and Boosie got in the ring, I think I can make Boosie holler out of his mouth, I'm a hoe.
I want to see
Tell him
Didn't
you a hoe, nigga. I bet I can make that nigga holler, I'm a hoe.
Didn't you reach out before?
I told him I'd let him win, but I was gonna beat him up though. I was just trying to trick him in the ring. I told him, nigga, I'm gonna let you win, Boosie. Go on, take the fight. He listened. But I was just trying to trick him into the ring. Yeah, nah, man, I know that nigga. Man, I know I make this to the world on camera.
Yesterday on April Fool's Day, Adam 22, he came out jokingly saying he was gay with another white man.
Joking. He ain't joking. There's no way as one white boy can be as freaky as he is, and he like to see black men push in his white wife. There's no way he ain't the new Caitlyn Jenner. See, white folks jokingly do things. He made it as a joke, but that was his form of coming out. It just was funny. But he came out the closet. That was a real confession. There's no way all those guys from prison can be around you, and they're not sensed that in him.
Right.
You see how they talk to him? They all land to get Atlanta. Nigga, that's the white boy using his wife to get that black meat because he enjoys just as much as she do. I know some people got some fetishes for big black cocks. If nothing else, just laying their eyes on them. And they get off to just seeing the print of it, the shape of it, the different shapes of it. And I think that's what he do with the OG gangster nigga. Because everybody know the California Crip and Blood nigga, they always been down with the down low gangster talk, the gangster gay talk. Especially in and out of prison. That's why Hollywood was so familiar with the black boy being freaky. It's the gang banging niggas in LA next door to the Hollywood movie producers. That's where all that come from.
Shit.
So no. He just letting her out. That little white girl been knocking inside of him, trying to get out. She just finally done got loose. That's all. She just done finally got loose, done got released, and she running free now. Alicia 22.
Right.
That's crazy. You think that's gonna do you think rappers are gonna see that and fall back from the platform, or they gonna still go?
Boy, they gonna be sneaking over there like they were sneaking to them puffy parties. Them nigga, man, shit. You finna start seeing more rappers on the platform now. Cause them niggas really be wanting to fuck them white boys and them white producers and them gay white executives. Them niggas be with the shit. Why you think they say Puffy got the list of big name white boys? Why you think they say Puffy got some big name white people that was down with the get down too? Because they always need somebody, they always need a white man or a white boy who can go down amongst the niggas and bring the nigga torpedo across the railroad track to the white feast. They always got to have one person that they can go, like Puffy. Man, get your rap buddies. That's why Michael Rubin gather up all the rap niggas in the linen and come over here to the parties. And you can't get over here unless you cool with this one nigga or this one white boy. This is how you get in. You don't get no invitation to the secret parties, the masquerade parties, the blindfold parties. So Puffy have always been the worm on the hook. Now, Adam 22 is the...
Another ad.
What is up, Transformers fans?
We ain't getting no breaks.
Brian, a trailer is about to drop. Oh man, I can't wait. I can't.
He's the fish on the hook that they using to catch the whales and the sharks.
Yeah, he's the bait.
He's the bait. And he's attached and associated to the porn industry. Most of them niggas, homie, coming out of prison, been locked up decades, lengthy amount of time. Homie, them niggas is straight perverts on that platform because it's tied to the porn industry. And if you think, homie, Adam 22 done once openly had transsexuals on there. He done once had an openly gay crip. Homie, them niggas sat comfortably amongst this.
Right.
They didn't call in sick. They sat comfortably. Now think about this. Out of all the gangbangers in the country, they went and got a gay crip. Out of all the big name crips in the world, they went and got a gay crip. You think that's by coincidence?
Shit crazy.
So now, nigga, that's a porn podcast, a perverts podcast. That No Jumper 22. That's a perverts podcast for gays and gangsters.
No Jumper.
What's up with the Diddy shit? His house got raided. All three of his houses got raided. It's paperwork out there. I mean, Usher name came up. Stevie J, he's still hanging with Stevie J. I mean, the footage is out there. Meek Mill name came up. How accurate do you think this shit is?
I think this shit is inaccurate. I think they lying on Puffy. I don't think Puffy nobody. Puffy is not being accused of. He's not being accused of child. He ain't being accused of nothing but slanging Diddy dick.
Come on, Charleston, you tripping?
Slanging Diddy dick. He ain't nobody that was unwilling. He willing. So what's the problem? He whooped it a few times, paid. What's the problem? They lying on Diddy. So you mean tell me that the FBI raided your house? Last nigga house got raided and went to jail. Keefy D?
Shit.
You mean to tell me they got all this paperwork? They got Usher naming her. They got Usher naming her saying what? That Usher like the party? They got Meek Mill naming her. They got Meek Mill naming her doing what? Sucking dick, taking dick, or showing dick.
You believe that?
Huh?
You believe the Meek Mill shit?
No, I don't believe none of it. Because this is what I'm saying. Those names are mentioned, but it's not saying what they done or what they did. It's just the names in there. So that don't make sense. And then it ain't a hoe talking. It's a gay dude that was taking the dick talking. You can't believe nothing no nigga done took dick done said. You can't believe nothing who a nigga done openly took dick, had fun taking it, and now he telling. It sound more like a disgruntled punk. Can't get that dick no more.
It's a lot of stories out there, though. I mean, over the past 20 years, Cassie came out recently. A lot of rappers say weird things that went on.
Oh, listen. They say, I heard a lot of rappers say weird things. But nigga, why they ain't said what the weird things was then? Why they protecting this guy? Is it like they protected R. Kelly? Is it like they protected Harvey Weinstein? Jay-Z hung out with Harvey Weinstein too now. Jay-Z and Harvey Weinstein done a lot of business together. Mighty back, Foxy Brown wrote in the Source magazine that Jay-Z put that horse in her when she was 15. Say, boy, got a horse dick.
Huh?
Aaliyah. Nigga, come on now. So if rappers for 20 years been saying weird things, why they been whispering and ain't been saying it out loud? Why they been hush-hush about this shit? As openly as they talk about child sex trafficking. As openly as Puffy came out and partnered with the Democratic Party, the DNC, with the Vote or Die. Remember the Vote or Die campaign? So if they've been knowing this and saying this, why they been hushing then? Why ain't nobody came out and shamed him? Why have they been at all his parties?
Right.
Nigga, Jay, they all been on the boats together till Cassie came out. And as a matter of fact, they've even defended him up until now. I can name plenty reputable, respectable celebrities who have defended him and have said, I'm going to pray for the Combs family. And not once have they said, I'm going to pray for Cassie.
Welcome back. First,
Man, these damn ads, man.
Now,
Have you ever been invited to a Hollywood party?
I'm not a Hollywood nigga. They know I'm going to tell it. They know I'm going to come back and say, y'all, I seen them niggas over there. They know I'm going to tell it, homie.
So you gonna snitch, whatever go.
Homie, listen. I came in snitching. Why wouldn't I keep telling? And I came in telling. I didn't come to make friends with these niggas. I came to attack the culture. I just realized I can get paid while doing it. But I'm saying
you never been invited to a higher up party. You never been invited.
Yeah, hell yeah. I done been to one.
So so what is that like? What is that like going to one of these type of parties?
Everybody's there. Let me just say that. All the who's who are there. All the porn stars. So I went to the upper echelon AVN Porn Awards party. Everybody was there. And the mansion is so big, there's a lot going on. There's different rooms that you can go in. There's different doors that you can walk through. And the only way you're gonna walk through certain doors and enter into certain rooms is by what you're curious to see. You see who walking through that door over there? Damn. You see who all on this bed right here? You see what this look like? Damn. Why you want to wander off some more? Nigga, I'm walking out of this room. So yeah, homie. So you enter by choice, not by force. They invite you to the parties, but you see which rooms and which doors people going in and out of. You see when the doors open. Hey man, what's going on over there? Nobody's asking questions, but you know. And by you being nosy out of curiosity, you might enter into some doors. Just being nosy. So yeah, I've been at the parties, huh? Motherfucker last all night. And I could have done me some. But I had a flight to catch. I had a motherfucking flight to catch. Shit. Oh, yeah. But I'm glad. But now, homie, so I see how. But you see some weird shit. I'm just gonna say that. You see the midgets, you see the bad, you see some weird shit.
What about like Diddy and Meek Mill wearing the same outfit? You don't think that's kind of sketchy?
Diddy like to party, and sometimes you got to tell Diddy no, they say. Yeah, I don't know what those two niggas with no matching outfit from. Yeah. Meek Mill didn't know he was being groomed. Yeah, Puffy is a professional groomer. Yeah, he just didn't know Puffy got a way to make him like it. Man, they went to hanging out, getting in pools together. So, yeah, they lying on me, man. Yeah, they lying on me.
What about like when Meek Mill was doing the bunny hop shit?
Boy, you just want me to go on and say they pressing that dick up in that boy's back, don't you? Yeah. You got me on that one. Yeah. That nigga turned into a whole feminine animal. Man, the way that nigga put his knees together and his feet together and his paw, and he was hopping, and he had on them motherfucking linen shorts with a polo pullover shirt. Yeah, that's white boy freaky shit. And they saying you been to count Meek, and the way they were talking to him, homie.
Damn.
Yeah, the way they were talking to him, homie. Yeah. See, that's what the rappers get for rapping and grabbing their dick and holding the microphone that intrigued them white boys. You hear me? That's what, you know how the rapper be rapping on the microphone, rapping and they done intrigued them white boys grabbing that dick. And so, yeah, it's on now. Damn near every rapper got to go gay if you want in. I've been telling y'all that, homie. You damn near got to go gay. Or you have to become gay friendly. See, See, when I brought Aiden Ross here, I learned something. I learned a valuable lesson. They don't want positive content that'll show Charleston White in a positive light. Because
you could skip this ad. Don't skip the part that can help you get the job done. At Grainger, we're here for you with supplies and solutions.
When I brought him here, right, we went straight to schools, youth facilities, and then we met with a very prominent pastor, Pastor McKissick, from Cornerstone Baptist Church over there in Arlington, in South Arlington. Homie, that's a very, very prominent pastor. So we had a barbecue, and we was at my mom's house. The pastor came over, was talking, so they got to see a different side of Charleston. Homie, they cut that shit off to go outside to talk industry pedophilia and child sex trafficking with Ryan Garcia outside in the van. And I'm saying, well, why wouldn't we talk about this with this black pastor where he can make this known to the black churches with these black kids in here? Then we had kids in there. I said, nah, homie, they don't respect us. Yeah, they don't respect, homie. If child sex trafficking and this industry pedophilia and Bohemian Grove, if all that shit was real, well, let's talk about it here with this black pastor, with these black kids, where we can have but nigga, y'all just talking. It's just like people saying this about Puffy. Man, y'all just talking. Because if y'all would, the type of money and the resources y'all got, nigga, y'all can bring some awareness to child sex trafficking if y'all were really serious. If y'all were really serious. So I said, oh, nah, homie, it's to assassinate our characters. So I'm saying, homie, they ain't got nothing on Puffy. Because all the shit that they've done and exhibited, normally they arrest niggas by now. They ain't made no arrest. He's not even been accused of committing a crime other than possibly having Cassie travel around the world to go f other rich guys. This is my bitch. I do what I want with my bitch. And me and my bitch work this out in court. So I'm not in trouble. Come on, homie. My bitch said some shit. My bitch done went and said some shit. But guess what? My bitch was down with this shit. That's why she stayed with me for so long. That's why my bitch took all this abuse, because she was with, we both were dysfunctional, two motherfuckers in love, and abuse was a part of our love. She was with this shit. I didn't force her to do this, but because I settled this lawsuit with my bitch, and it's my bitch, I owe her this. I'm mad she done went with this motherfucker. Now I gotta find these other hoes I gotta pay to get high with and do all this shit with. Now my business out there. But my bitch done put my business out here. And the shit done told can crush me. Here go this money. Shit you done told can fuck me up. Ho, here go this money. So now once I pay her, it leave me open for all this other shit. Now my bodyguard saying it. All these other people saying it. But all of a sudden now they got details. Why didn't y'all have details 20 years ago, 15 years ago, 5 years ago? When R. Kelly was going through this big Me Too movement, why was y'all quiet about Diddy?
In the paperwork, it says that he talked Stevie J into if they were to mess around, he would have him win a Grammy.
Did Stevie ever win a Grammy?
I don't know.
Puffy was just lying with that Diddy. I done made a whole bunch of promises with that and didn't fulfill them promises. I'm gonna fuck all night. Couldn't fuck all night. Motherfucker disappointed like motherfucker got over here and can't fuck all night. I'm gonna pay such and such bill. Man, I ain't paying that bill. I give you a couple $100 on it. Well, you said you were gonna pay that, man. Fuck that shit, man. So, man, yeah, but Stevie didn't win no Grammy. He been promising a bunch of promises to get their ass, and just been getting that ass and not fulfilling the promises. He's just a nigga lot of all the time. You got a dude that was by Diddy saying this. You got a dude. So I'm saying this is one person's account that went and gave a court statement. It ain't nobody came and back what he said, verified what he said.
Right.
Everybody know Stevie J a freak. Everybody know Puffy a freak. But homie, they ain't against the law. All them niggas freaks. You get $1 billion, you gonna be a freak.
Don't forget to eat the seeds. Which color pepper helps blood sugar the most? Here's an easy way to
Nah.
That's why I say now, homie. So it's just on the surface, it looked like he's in trouble with the FBI. But beneath the surface, he got a major lawsuit that he's fighting with Ciroc. Come on now. When Bill Cosby was having some problem with trying to buy network, what happened to
That's
Bill?
crazy. Yo, you and Bedman said the same thing. Bedman Kevo said the same thing.
Right.
Ever since that lawsuit, shit started unraveling.
Come on, homie. Because one thing about your white folks, y'all been partying together. You've been sending your hoe over here. That's how you got this deal.
Oh, wait. So he did win a Grammy.
Stevie won a Grammy? Or did Biggie win a Grammy? Oh, he won a Grammy for Puff Daddy's album.
Yep.
Well, shit, boy, shit. Puff ain't lying then. You give him something, you go get your Grammy. Yeah. So see, at least he honest. At least the man got a Grammy and kept his word.
Damn.
Man,
it's
I think it was I think it was Ashanti in an interview that she said a very well-known producer.
I think it was Irv. Was it Irv Gotti?
She said it was a very well-known producer that just wanted to take a shower with her. And he would have produced the track and all that.
What?
But when she didn't want to take the shower, she got to pay for it.
No, I don't think it was Irv Gotti.
That's the industry. The industry is based on quid pro quo. What can I get if I do this for you? I'm gonna go out on a limb. All of them had to suck to get in.
Damn.
And nigga, if you think Beyonce didn't have to a white man, if you think Rihanna didn't, And they telling y'all what kind of man Harvey Weinstein was. If you think, nigga, Diana Ross, nigga, Tupac told us Quincy Jones came up to him, nigga. Quincy Jones came out and said that Richard Pryor and Marlon Brando was messing him. Come on now. So when you look at today and you say, well, man, how could gay rights be passed? I see how. These niggas been sneaking and freaking. That's how it's so easy for gay laws and legislation, nigga, to come in this generation. Cause these niggas been doing this shit, nigga. And it's all about, and nigga, this really come from the make love, not war generation. Them niggas been freaking since the 70s and the 60s. It's ever since the Vietnam make love, not war, it's been the hippie group. Mother smoking weed, wood, it's been this group. Getting high, partying, and f***ing. Because they didn't really have a struggle. Black people don't have a struggle no more.
Shit.
So that's why I keep telling y'all, nigga, we the new sex slaves, sex toys. We ain't gonna be economic slaves. We gonna be sex slaves. Where our women are gonna have to go back to just working out their houses, whole houses, because it ain't no jobs, it ain't no resources. It's gonna be a commodity again. Dick gonna be a commodity, but it's gonna be a commodity for that white man's perversion. They want free reign again and be able to come down off in the ghetto when they drunk and snatch up a girl and bring her out and take her back over here and sell them drunk white boys. Why you think they pushing selling coochie music, Sexy Red? Why you think they selling this, nigga? This is the desensitized. And make all the girls. You know what they doing?
Damn.
But because if you think about this, homie, think about how they use Puffy. For them to have this knowledge that he did it, they had to have the knowledge that he was doing it. And they've been rumoring this for how long? Who gave him protection? Who gave him clearance? He just done lost his protection. R. Kelly lost his protection.
At Biscuitville, it's a toss-up. Is it our savory Tennessee smoked sausage or our sizzling peppers and...
So now, when I look at it, when I measure us with what we have, with what we once had, and I put that together and try to see where that's going to take us, the element says, nigga, we just going to be good for fun. We can't build nothing. We don't know AI. We're stagnant in our content creation. We're stagnant in our content creation, so most platforms aren't growing. Most platforms aren't evolving. Most platforms or most internet personas and names, they're not rebranding themselves. So, nigga, what good will we be 10 years from now? The black man is already viewed as a criminal. What will they view the black woman as? Based off the women we see today. Ass and titties. Pussy hole, booty hole. So, shit, my nigga, I don't... This is being intentionally done. And the white man ain't designing this. It's the niggas in power. It's your niggas in power that's doing this. Because nigga, they was too silent for too long while Puffy done all this, if he done all this.
But you see, you know who don't play is your boy in Russia. They officially banned the LGBTQ movement and put it on the same list as terrorists. So if anything in Russia as far with that movement, it's subjected for arrest and bank account freezes.
while our president is turning Easter into Transgender Visibility Day.
Real shit.
Not only that, homie. When you get a chance, about 7 years ago, Google Russia banning rap lyrics. Russia don't allow rap to be played in their country. He said it'll cause a revolution. It'll cause uncivil unrest. That's how powerful we think it is. And it has, and it does. It's just that it's programmed to cause uncivil unrest amongst and with us. And we can't see nothing past us with this uncivil unrest. That's why that's why it's never no peace at a rap concert. That's why a rap concert is never about fun. It's always about violence. Or the propensity of violence to be perpetuated. It's never an event in the mind of the goers that this is just for fun. Think about that, man. Every rap event, homie, is not just for fun. It's an event that's gonna be violent.
Yeah, man. Puttin, my bad. Puttin, man, he stands on business, man. Like, you think he's the most dangerous guy on the planet?
Yeah. He's one of the only world leaders that done actually murdered somebody. You got to understand the history of Vladimir Putin is that he started with the KGB, a little bitty boy. He worked his way from KGB all the way up to be the Russian president, and he ruled with an iron fist. And he the people he don't like. He specializes in studying human behaviors. So he got two big old dogs he used to intimidate other world leaders when they come over. Shit. He's a very intimidating man, and he's fit. He work out. Nah, he's a man's man. The rest of these presidents and elected officials ain't that. Most of these mother white boys ain't put no bullet in nobody's head.
Why are women everywhere choosing Abby X, the new tummy tuck alternative? I got the
tummy. Nigga can't do 1,000 put now. Vladimir, now you're bad motherfucker in real life. The North Korean little mother. He a little bitty boy that grew up in the power, but nigga, he killed his own uncle. The motherfucking Ukrainian president is an actor, was a movie star. But you want to go to war with him. In Russia done threatened if the United States get involved in this war, they go nuclear bomb this motherfucker. And he's serious. Because he's losing that war. He ain't winning. And we trying to isolate him by turning off them gas pipelines. He got every reason to want to do what he doing. And he is the most dangerous motherfucking world leader. He's the most dangerous. And they know it. That's why everybody is trying to get him to lose. But he's one of the only world leaders, nigga, that rock with them Africans. Stand with them niggas.
Yo, it went viral on our platform too. You seen he opened the it was like a temple, like not a temple, but like a ancient, I guess, vault.
It was an old vault. And I keep telling people, homie, what's in the Bible and what's in the Quran have been copywritten. They've taken things out and putting things in, and there's some shit that you don't even know that's in there that's supposed to be in there. So the Black Madonna, the Queen of England, there's pictures of the Queen of England bowing to the Black Madonna. So when you go overseas, you see all these black biblical figures. But how does that help us? How does that help us knowing God is black or knowing Jesus is black or Paul and Peter was black? How does that empower us? It don't.
But it just lets you know that Everything is whitewashed though.
They won the war. We knew that. We know whoever wins the war get to write the story.
That's facts.
Whoever wins the wars get to write the story. So that's what I tell people. The things you think you know, why you so confident that you think you know them? Nigga, you read it in English, in the white man's language. You can't read, nigga, you can't read Braille. You can't read Hebrew. You can't read Arabic. Everything we read is in English. So how can we be so confident in what we know, in what we read? And we be arguing like a motherfucker with these religious books that was wrote in English and was copywritten. We arguing over copywritten religious books as if it's facts. And the only thing we know to be, only thing in life that we know for sure is true, homie, and is for certain, is death. Everything else after that can be questioned. But we know for sure everything dies. Everything after that can be questioned, my nigga.
Right.
I was reading your comments on Easter. The comments was funny. They was like, I thought you weren't Christian.
I ain't.
We're gonna end it right there, y'all. It's been cool. It's been a wind down here tonight. I know we done been watching this, but you know what I'm saying? Shout out to the chat if you stayed with me. Expect more of the wind down. We just got into Dirty Dan today, you feel me? It's been a good one. Good morning, good afternoon, and good night. Peace.